we're just doing our technical setup here. Hope everybody's well on this
Sunday?
Yes.
Huh?
Actually, it's funny because Jim woke up this morning and he said, "Oh, we're gonna go do all the things for Friday," and he said, "Oh, what about the live stream?"
I'm forgetting a lot of things.
Right? You're allowed. You're entitled. He's gonna try to let Oreo stay today because she does have this bowl that she's very interested in. If you guys watch the Friendmail videos, she got these two like rubber tennis ball looking things.
Mona's here. Sorry.
Sorry.
And they smell like vanilla or birthday cake or something. Turtles really likes them a lot.
I don't know.
And I didn't tag them in the video because we didn't have a packet anymore. I couldn't find the receipts, but I have the receipts now, so I'm gonna go back and add the tags to that. To the video. Now that's a new thing for me to tag products in a video. I'm only able to do that on. This is the first for me, and I don't know how the links work. I don't know any of that stuff, but I got an email saying they were starting this program. Eligible, so.
Mona said she can't hear you very well.
Who did?
Mona.
Is this on?
No.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Mona. I didn't turn it on. I thought he handed it to me on. Sorry, love.
It's on now.
Can you hear me? You want me to like you couldn't hear me? Like you want me to repeat everything again? Oh, there's the ball.
Hey.
There's the ball we were talking about. If you missed any of it, just let me know and I'll tell you again. But otherwise, if I was just quiet, saying it quietly, that's probably not a bad thing. I actually found if you guys are on Facebook, they give you Facebook ads, and there was this one that had like all these different T-shirts, and I found a T-shirt that said it was the shape of Missouri with the New York flag in it, and it says, "I may live in Missouri, but I'm from New York." And then when I went down a rabbit hole of like one of them that actually said, "I'm not yelling, I'm from New York," and I thought that was perfect because that's what the consensus around here is. I speak very loudly, especially when I'm on the phone with somebody from New York. What I do notice when I'm on the like, I used to joke when Lisa lived in New York. I used to joke with Lisa because every time she talked to somebody from Georgia, she'd hit her accent like really hard. What I noticed is it's not so much my accent or my volume, which they notice. It's the speed to which I talk. I noticed that
too.
when I'm on a phone with somebody from New York, it's like because. And it's really funny because from like mom's perspective, I talk really fast because I'm from New York. But in New York, nobody talks faster than my cousin Beth. Hi Beth, if you're out there. She grew up in Rockaway and Rockaway Beach, excuse me. And she, like to me, I'm like, okay, slow down, I don't understand. And I'm from there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. So is everybody hearing me better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mona said yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
She said, "Send me a picture. Send me pictures when you see T-shirts you like."
Oh yeah, because you can
Nellie
make them.
is also here.
So Mona, if you're interested, I can promote people to come to your page on Facebook if you're interested. But Mona started advertising on Facebook Marketplace, her T-shirts, her cups. She's very, very talented, and she says like she'll ship. And the thing, there is a special way to put that you'd ship. I have to say, I don't know if I see it sometimes, but I don't know how to do it. If that makes sense, but I can research that if you want.
I saw some of her T-shirts and things on Facebook.
Yeah,
beautiful work.
Yeah, she does beautiful work. And I have some of the things was about this salt air, the seawater and salt air, and the beach. And I was like, well, everybody in my family like loves the beach except me. I'm floodwaters. I still have a little trauma.
Mona,
what
said that would be awesome.
Okay. Hi, Nellie. Good morning. Who else is here? I'm sorry to.
Just the two of them. So
okay.
But we've got 50.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's fine. I'm talking to the good people. If I can go back and actually tell you guys what I was trying to say was, and I'm sorry if you did understand what it was the first time and I'm repeating it. They now have a program where you can tag products in your videos. So on Oreo's Friendmail videos, I found some of the products they also sell at Walmart because even though they came from Amazon, they sell them at Walmart. And apparently, it's like an affiliate link, so I'll get like a commission if you buy it from my link. I don't know, but I just thought that was really cool, and it was really cool of Marnie to send her all that stuff. But the one thing I was saying was not these balls. See, these balls that look like tennis balls, but they're really rubber. They smell like birthday cake or vanilla. Really birthday cake. Oh, did I offend you by not giving it to you? I'm sorry. Wait, what's happening? I don't
Tina
know what's happening to this dog. Okay.
Tina Brasher's here.
Good morning, Tina, or afternoon, depending.
N-
Um,
Nellie said the good people. LOL. I love you,
yes,
Jerry.
yes, the good people. Definitely the good people. Nellie and Mona are the best people. Marnie is the best person. Stacy, we haven't said Stacy's Rainbow in a long time. Jesse, Margarita, all the good people. Boop,
You're welcome, Mona.
boop, boop. Oh,
Should
about
call
you,
her. Yeah.
like in the, she does beautiful work.
Yeah.
I love the cup. She had
I-
a cup that looked like it was a cow skin, and it really looked like it was a cow skin. Like I was like, that looks furry. That cup looks furry.
I don't know if I've seen that. But
Oh, okay.
really pretty, like I said, really pretty t-shirts. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
were mostly about the beach, and I'm not a beach person. So,
Oh, yeah. She's got other stuff though.
yeah,
But that's
I have just.
yeah.
Is there a way to
See
find
her
the
shop.
other?
I think she said, Mona, did you say that you were putting your shop together on Marketplace? Like if you click on her face, it shows you everything they're selling. But I don't know if she's got all of her stuff up yet. So
Okay. Nellie Higgins said those are chicket balls. Chucket balls.
oh,
My 2 dachshunds have those balls too.
the ones that smell like cake. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I'll try to find them on the video and tag them in there. But I liked, oh, so anyway, it says you get a commission from Walmart if you buy them from Walmart, whatever. But I really just wanted to be able to share the information on the product if you guys, need them or want them. Oh my gosh, the shish kebabs that look like shish kebabs. So we have three different kinds of shish kebabs. One of them I call a lollipop that just has a chunk of meat on the end. The other one I call the meat stick, which is 3 chunks of meat. And then one I call a shish kebab because it literally looks like a piece of cheese, a piece of meat, looks like a meatball, and it looks like things on it. Those priceless. I swear to goodness, if I knew who manufactured them, I would go volunteer my services just to feed my dog them for the rest of forever.
The ones on a stick, and she eats a stick
Yeah,
too. I mean,
they're like
okay, I
rawhide
just,
sticks. Yeah,
just
they're not real
okay.
like sticks. Yeah.
Oh, Mona's. Is that your website? It's JEM, capital like initials, periods in between. JEM Creations and Gifts.
Oh, okay. And that's a website or that's a Facebook page? That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the boo boo foot? Is this the boo boo foot?
It's the pet food.
Small it does. So Oreo's, we have to take Oreo to the doctor because oh no, this is the boo boo foot. One of her back pads is swollen. So a couple of weeks ago it was red, but then it went away. But all of a sudden, then it showed up like the pad was swollen. So we're probably gonna take her sometime this week. We'll call for an appointment tomorrow, and then while he's there, I think we just cut her nails. We would all like to have a beauty day at the beauty parlor, man, but we got on a budget, so we'll have the doctor cut your nails. Did Daddy cut your nails instead? Okay, so we'll have the doctor.
I tried to, but then she squirmed away, and I was like, okay.
Oh, we can do it
Um,
together if you want. Sorry, everybody. We'll have a conversation over here.
and
Well, I wasn't using.
Nellie
lights.
said they have 2 new chucket balls. You guys wouldn't like them; they squeak.
No.
Mona said it. It's her Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. Mona, I just do Facebook pages, and she's like, pick that one, and I'm like, well, who's the other one though? Like I was, you pick both.
Good morning, Irene.
But I think I actually picked both before she said pick that one. Like pick the one with a certain face on it. Morning,
Probably-
Irene.
Yeah, I don't know if my voice carried over.
Jim said it first.
Morning.
My dog, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's one of the things that entices the dog to the toy because they have a different range of hearing. I'm curious though, like for human issues, why aren't they not like dog whistle pitch? Like why is the squeaker not so high that humans can't hear it, but dogs can? Like why do we all have to be annoyed by a squeaker? I'm not really annoyed by a squeaker, but people in general. Why do we have to be annoyed by a squeaker when you know that there's ranges of pitch that the dog can hear that we can't? I'm just saying.
Leah Elizabeth is here.
Who?
Leah Elizabeth said
Oh,
good
hello.
morning.
Good morning.
Nellie said, Tina, that's a dog for you.
Aw, you getting CP's
Nellie
mama?
said something about I'm not a vet, but maybe it's a food allergy.
Yeah. And I looked up like the biggest allergen for dogs is chicken. I'm like, what? That causes yeast infection. I'm sorry. They can also get yeast infections in their paws from different foods, and that's what I looked at. What causes yeast infections in dogs? And they said chicken, and I'm like, what? That's one of the three major food groups. um, but the fact that it's only the one paw and it was started out as a little red dot and now it's swollen, I'm thinking she got bit by something, or there's a splinter in
Stepped
there or
on something.
something.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive to touch, so that's another thing. But I washed it to see if the red dot was still there, but she wouldn't allow me to because it was really behind all the swollen stuff. She's not favoring it when she walks. It's just when you touch it. You ready to go sleep? Is that what this is? You need nappies? Gotta go sleepy night night? You wanna go in the crib? Aw. You see how sleepy she gets, people? Like, give me a hard time, but seriously, she's just like, and if she sleeps out here, she won't sleep well because as soon as a cat meows 3 yards away, she's up. Like,
Yeah.
we don't. I tell everybody, they're like, she's not barking anything. I'm like, we can't see, smell, or hear what she can see, smell, or hear. So
Right.
she's not barking at nothing because she'd just be barking the whole day if that was the case. Boop.
Tina Brasher said my doodle had terrible ear infections. And
Aw.
it was chicken.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boop. Yeah, so I was looking because I saw a commercial with Katherine Heigl about that dogs can get yeast infections so bad on their paws. And I was like, as soon as she started favoring it, see, she wasn't really chewing it until Jim touched it. That's the thing. I was thinking if it was a yeast infection, she'd be chewing it before we touched it. But one day he was just playing with the toe beans and she kept pulling her foot away. Like, her left foot is the ticklish and this is her right foot. And, oh, you want to go see Peace, Mommy? Give kisses and go see Peace? Daddy give you a treat for CPs? Is that what you want to do? Oh, this poor baby. She doesn't want to hold the tennis ball or the chucket ball. Aw. This poor baby goes sleepy night night.
Nellie Higgins said my son's dog was grain allergic. He had to
Oh,
eat grain-free dog food.
yeah, there's a lot of different food allergies for dogs. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I mean, also, when you're a mixed breed, you may get all of them and none of them. Hi. You okay? You just so CPs? She has been learning to take my sugars, right? Got my sugar back? And she brought it out to Nanny this morning, which was good. It was really good. I do think I want to tie a string on there. I know I looked up that dogs can see green. They can't really see red, yellow. So I was thinking about. She tore apart a new Dollar Tree rope in like, I don't know, 2 hours. It was totally shredded, and I was like, what if I take one of those and put it on the handle so she can recognize where the handle is? But she was doing pretty good today. Aw, it's worth it.
Nellie said the skin on his belly would break out. If his
Yeah,
son's
well,
dog.
yeah, my god dog Finn, which was my sister Jane and Kathy's dog, he had a really bad food allergy. He could only eat lamb. It was like lamb food, grain-free lamb food. I'm like, talk about a prissy dog, but he was a Westie, like a purebred Westie, and that's what he had. He used to break out in his belly, a really bad rash.
She said you'll have to let us know how Oreo's vet appointment
Yeah,
goes.
I will definitely for sure. Um, I know how it'll go. It'll go $75. That's how it'll go. Just kidding. But we got this, right? We got this, baby.
You look like you're about to
So this
fall
is the
asleep.
difference between modern day Jerry and past life Jerry. Jerry's family never took the dog to the vet unless like the dog was dying, like time to put the dog down kind of thing. Oh, he's got a cut. Yeah, rub some dirt in it. Like we were just Gen X dogs. That's what we call them. Um, but even like my dog had puppies, we just gathered them around blankets. They all like only 4 or 5 of them lived out of the batches that she had because they were like a dog this size. Boots was a dog this size, and the dad was a Great Dane, so there was not a lot of room in the womb, if you know what I'm saying. So as they passed, we like bury them in the yard. That's like how it was back then. And then we're not even talking like I lived out in the country with a dog. This was the suburbs, you know.
I said vet equal ka-ching.
Yes, that's okay. I was thinking about the insurance. They do have this pet insurance, like a health insurance for pets. Did we have that with Lita for a while? I feel like we did. Yeah,
Don't know, been too long ago.
it was a long time ago. Yeah, we got her when we were first together. We got her October of '99. Jim moved in August, and he wanted a dog, but you know, between obviously we're living with my dad. My dad was like, "Who's gonna take care of a dog?" And Jim was trying to find his way in on Long Island still. Like, how about a cat? And we were talking about family. Like, you get a dog, you get a puppy when you have a toddler, because they're both gonna mess your house up at the same time. Unfortunately, we waited so long. Not waited so long, but we never had kids, so we like never got a dog. But she was a really good cat. She loved her daddy. Oh boy. But she didn't care for many other people besides
No,
me,
she didn't care for me.
Pop, me, Jim, and Pop. Like that was it. And even me, she would rather like if the three of us were sitting in a triangle, yeah, it would be Jim, Pop, and then me. She really only loved me in the winter. She'd sit on my chest and I was warm. That's I'm just kidding. She was actually, it's funny because after Pop died, Jim moved here to try to, we thought we'd have to move right away. So he tried to like set up housing and stuff like that. But there was all these other issues. But when it was just her and me, best friends, best friends. We were like, she was like up, but she wanted to sleep with me at night. She'd sleep on my back. And I let her, Jim didn't let her sleep with us when, like, she never came in the bedroom, basically.
She did.
Not on an every night type of basis. No, it was just when it
not
was
every night.
the first time she actually came to the room was we had gotten a couch, a sectional from a friend who had a cat, and that gave thought Lita. We thought Lita thought it gave her permission to go ahead and pee wherever the cat was. So to prevent her from doing that, my cousin said, "Take mothballs, put them in a piece of fabric, and tuck them around the couch." And we had slip covers, so I tucked them in the slip cover, whatever. She came the first time I ever heard him yell, scratch at the door, or anything. She came to the door and she was whining. She came to the bedroom door, whining, scratching. I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" She sounded like she was dying. Like it was really bad. Well, it turns out I bought mothball flakes instead of bowls, which are much more concentrated in smell. Basically, we killing the cat out there. She was like, "Meow, meow." I was like, "That's the cat. What happened?" So,
Sorry.
no, it's okay, Mom.
Jerry Orlis is here, and so is Simone's girl.
Hello.
Hello, y'all.
You have anything nice to say this morning? They weren't very nice to me last night. Well, not
Oh.
Simone's girl, so I didn't see her, but they had a lot to say. Everybody had a lot to say last night. It caused quite an issue in this household. So, yeah, Jim and I had a nice long talk about, yes, I might not be perfect, but nobody is. But that's not even that thing. I just talked about like when you focus on things that are negative, you're gonna focus on the things that are negative. Like you're not gonna see anything that's good about it. You know, we talked about like we've talked about this before. Like, okay, so if I had 10, he likes to say I have 10,000 pounds of shit. So if I have 10,000 pounds of shit, I gave away 7,500 pounds of shit when we first organized everything. Actually, when we moved here, remember we had a whole like everything was laid out on the kitchen floor for our friends to come and what do you need? You need something, dinner, or whatever. Because we didn't know when we were packing that what we were going to be doing. Like we just tried to whatever was clean and we saved from the flood came in a box, like that kind of thing. And then when we did the Nordic thing where we downsized a lot, and he's like, "I want to declutter." Okay, that's fine. So we got rid of another 1,000 pounds of crap. So now I'm down to 1,500 pounds of crap, and now Jim wants me to be down to 500 pounds of crap. Eventually, he wants me to be down to no crap, but I'm like, there's compromise there. If I just keep giving you and you don't give anything back or don't accept, I need some crap in my life, like then that's not compromise. That's just you telling me what to do. And accepting my issues for now. But boop. He was talking about all the clutter on the walls, and just mentioned in the bedroom. And I was like, we made this. Like, I have a video of us putting this together together. And he was like, I know, but it's only like 2 things of mine. I'm like, okay. I was like, take it all down. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Just trying to make it home. I was just trying to make it homey and give us memories to look at, and especially the wall with the tapestry. It's got a lot of inspirational things to make you have like remember good positive thoughts, um and then things he wanted at the time, like the picture I got from Wendy with the leaf on it or feather. I don't know exactly if it's supposed to be a leaf or a feather.
It's not a leaf.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to. So I was like, you said you wanted that, and because it's got a little, it's a picture that's like set back in a box, so it's got like a ledge, and I was like, you wanted to put crystals on there and everything, and I was like, you don't remember any of this? And he's like, no. I said, well, that's not really my fault. It's not my fault that you don't remember that you said it was okay.
Um,
But yeah.
Crafty Gypsy is here. Said hello.
Hi.
What Maya is here. Said hello.
Hello, beautiful lady.
Jerry Orlis said we just try to be supportive when Jim is telling us how he feels.
Well, if you go back and watch the video, I don't really think that that's the case. I appreciate what you're saying. He gets egged on a lot. You guys have a lot of conversations going on in the comments that make him head down a very, very bad spiral, which I think of that's not supportive at all. If you know somebody has a negative feelings towards something, do you go on and egg them on about negative feelings? That's not really very supportive. That's not very supportive at all. Um, I try to do the absolute opposite in our relationship because I know he can. He can spiral quick, and obviously he's my husband, so it's very different than you strangers in the internet. No matter how much you think you talk to him, that you're friends, but it's really just that you're strangers. Um, it's not.
Lisa's here.
Hi, mamas. TT Lily's on the phone. You say hi. You say hi. She's so sleepy. Um, do you want to talk about it tomorrow, last night at all? Do you want to?
Not really, because I don't want to
Oh.
go back down that spiral.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, last night kind of got out of control because I did not want the conversation to be the way it went, and you know, I'm almost at that point where it's either I'm going to be doing vlogs, or if I do lives, I might turn off the chat because there are times where it's like, what just happened? And I end up being a spiral out of control. At least if I had the money for the 3 mic setup, I would get it.
Yeah,
Debbie-
the two mic setups around $20 or $30. The 3 mic setups around 80. I was like, it's like huge difference. But I want an extra microphone.
Debbie Wooten said, no, Jerry, we were telling him to go for walks and have some me time.
Well, not everybody was on the bandwagon, but no, I mean, I screenshot all the comments because they don't stay up. Jimmy, for some reason, the live stream comments, you don't keep them up.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know how to set that up.
I appreciate that you're like, I appreciate it. I do appreciate what you're saying. And I tell him to go for walks, but there's a lot of things you don't know. Jim doesn't share all of his bad things. He only shares all of my bad things. And I don't share all of his bad things. People got on me really, really harshly when I started to act like you guys were my girlfriends and I was just complaining about my husband. So I don't do that anymore. But there's so much you do, and you're just basing it on of what he's telling you, kind of thing. So it's just, it's it wasn't just go for walks. And it wasn't just you guys; it was a lot of other people. But anyhow, I appreciate that people try to keep it calm and civil in my videos and my lives. But then I feel like it's very two-faced to then go ahead and tell all those things that you don't like about me in another video. That's kind of like, but I promise that as long as you keep civil here, you can stay. And that's really what it's all about. So, um, oh, what's up, mama? You want daddy to go lay down? I know mommy's not allowed to put you in the crib. I'm only allowed to take you out of the crib. I try to put her down. She stands at the door for 25 minutes because I'm not the dad. I also will putting her harness on. She's like, you can't put my harness on, Mom. It's Dad's job. Want to go put her down, baby? She looks so sleepy.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Mom, I'm sorry.
Nellie Higgins said a couple people got down on me in comments on the last live Sunday.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan.
Yeah. Because they really have no self-esteem. That's what it's all about, hon. I mean, the you know, I have a crappy life, and the best way to have other people have crappy lives to make myself feel better is to put them down into my crappy life hole. Misery loves company is really what it's all about. And then some people just can't find joy in their lives, so they have to remove it from others. And that's the hardest part, I think. And it makes me feel so sad. And that's why I let them stay here, because if they can come here and I can maybe turn them around a little bit, I don't care if it takes 20 live streams to to bend somebody's heart towards um, towards feeling good. Um, yeah,
What
just
my oh my says I'm still blocked on Jim's channel. I don't know. I
oh
know you unblocked several people, but
yeah. Why was
evidently
she ever blocked?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was on those
Okay, I'll go look. I will look after the live stream if that's okay. I'll help him.
Ippy Mama says people there is more to Jim and Jerry's
Yeah.
lives than the very small amount you see on YouTube.
Yeah.
Irene Flores asks how you're feeling.
Me or Jim?
You.
Oh,
Jeri-Ann.
I feel awful
How
today,
you
to be
been
honest
doing?
with you. I was in a lot of pain this morning to the point where I had to Jim's like, why are you dragging my kitchen chair towards the living room? I'm like, I'm using it to lean on. And then I dragged it to lean on the other chair, and then I dragged that a little bit to the couch. I'm in a lot of pain this morning. I fell asleep with one, like my left knee over my right knee, like over like that, and I woke up and my hip was just not at all fantastic. It was like to the point where I thought I was like, can somebody pop it back in place? Um, and I slept to the point where this morning I wasn't having. Let's do a 4 o'clock in the afternoon live stream because that's how I feel today, sort of thing. But the word you used last night was influential. So many people, you're so influential. That's what you said. Influenced by others. I always said it was empathy. So I said Jim has a lot of empathy. If you're having a bad day, he's having a worse day.
Mhm.
And if you don't like something, he doesn't like it even more. And I never thought it was to get more attention. I always just thought it was that's how his empathy works. You're feeling sad, that makes me sad. You're feeling happy, that makes me happy. Those types of things. And you can see it. You could see it on days where, like it was bad last night. I was ready to leave, and he was like, um, we were fighting, and then I was like, well, you don't want me to go? I'll just go. I don't care. I feel like my family would come move me, like to leave, like that type of thing. That's the kind of people they are. They're not going to come help me move to a different state, but they're going to come help me move to go. And then he came in. I was like, he was talking about all these things, and I was like, I guess you don't want me to leave then. And he's like, no. So it can get really intense, and I don't know that that's not you, Jerry, or you. Simone's girl wasn't even there, so I'm hoping that wasn't your intention to try to put a wedge between us even further. But I really don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. Let me put it this way: I know exactly what causes people to choose to believe one person over another. It's preconceived notions. That's all. And if somebody aligns with your preconceived notions of what society says X, Y, and Z, then that's how you are aligned with. And we talked about this before. Fit somebody's narrative. You already have a narrative. If whatever you're hearing fits your narrative, that's what you're going to believe. So there's nothing I can do about it. So that's why I tell everybody, I'm like, don't bother sharing it with me. I don't care. I literally went on last night to ask Jim how long he was going to be. And it had nothing to do with the dog. Like people were like, get the dog out yourself. Take the dog for a walk. I was like, it didn't have anything to do with the dog. Like nothing to do with the dog. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got her out by myself, and she stayed and played with me for a while, right, Bubba? Right? Because I'm allowed to take you out of the crib. I just not allowed to put you in. Right? That's okay if I take you out, right?
Well, she'll let anybody let her out.
Yeah.
Me out of here.
You go ahead, Mom. Sorry.
There's a whole lot going on, and it's a lot of things that I'm not too sure.
Yeah, say no. I'm set. Go for it.
Okay. Fred Green, hello, says, I'm not being mean or one sided, but this question is for Jerry. Have you ever taken accountability for Jim feeling or actions, or have you always just put the blame on him and shame his manhood?
Well, sure. I would wonder where that kind of narrative came from. Is that something you felt once and you shared with them?
Maybe I don't
Oh
remember.
no. As a matter of fact, well, I can't. I can't ask you to ask Mom. But as a matter of fact, when I met Jim, he was way more timid, way less assertive. You had way less. I don't want to say way less manhood. That's not even right. But he was much more of a little boy at the time. And I think that you've grown a lot because of our relationship, right? I
Mhm.
mean, and I don't ever like degrade his manhood. The only thing that I've ever talked about, in my opinion, the only thing I've ever talked about that's I feel like could hurt Jim, and we've talked about it a long time, is that he has a learning disability that he didn't want to face for a long time. And if I bring it up, it hurts his feelings. But I'm not bringing it up to hurt his feelings. I'm bringing it up to say this is a limitation that you have to recognize. Like it's one thing to say, "Oh, I'm not shy. I'm gonna fake it till I make it, and I'm not gonna be shy, even though I'm an introvert." But when you have something that you have difficulty understanding instructions, or when someone's saying something to you, or something that you're reading, that's something that you can't fake till you make. You know what I mean? That's something you have to recognize. So that was the one issue that I've always ever felt that was kind of like I don't want to say taboo to talk about, but we definitely had to talk about it before I talked about it with people, like even my family and friends. Like I had to make sure it was okay with him that we talked about it, and um, that was the only thing. I mean, the things that happen to men when they get older, I did mention that because we were talking about my sex life. So of course, my sex life is going to involve other people that I have sex with, that type of thing. And this was ages ago, by the way. Um, but that came out because we were talking about like the issues that I were having, but it's no problem because we're all else having issues. I guess that's what it was supposed to be intended, but I didn't think that that was everybody at a certain age goes through it. So that to me was just life. You know, you hit menopause. I hit menopause really, really early. Not super early, but at 49 is pretty early for menopause. Um, any more, Mom? You got more? So yes, I take accountability, but I don't feel like I do that to his
They're
manhood.
going pretty fast.
Okay. I also have said to Jim before, and this is something and I've said it to you guys before. Whatever your intention for saying something was, if it hurt somebody's feelings, you still have to take accountability, apologize. And I do all the time. I say to him all the time, I'm like, I'm sorry that what I just said made you feel bad or whatever. I did not, that was not my intention. We want to talk about it. We want to work it through. Something I could have said different. And the big part of the problem that Jim and I are having right now is that because of my illness, medication, or whatever it is, brain fog, and it's not really brain fog, it's more like I'm almost having like cognitive issues of trying to say the right things. Things come out very wrong. And Jim has always been, and I didn't know this till like the first, third year we were married. He's always been the person who focuses on the first thing that comes out of your mouth. So sometimes the first thing that comes out of my mouth isn't coming out right anymore. It used to be I was good practice at it. Try to avoid confrontation or having anybody's feelings get hurt. But in the last couple of years, it's been more difficult to get the words out properly, mostly because I can't remember the words. That's really what it comes down to. So if I do hurt his feelings in something that I said, whether I meant to or not, I do always apologize. And I mean, do you disagree with that, or do you agree with that, or
I know we both have problems with one another, and communication is one of them. You know, I don't always voice my opinion because um, I don't. My opinions and ideas and things like that change day to day. So I can have a set of thoughts on one day, and the next day I don't always remember my thoughts, and I have a new set or new idea of what to do. It's waking up every day is almost like a new day. It's almost like you don't remember your um, short-term memory, I guess they call it, um, gets messed up, while your long-term memory is just a recording of your short-term. Um, so it's really difficult, for me, um, from time to time, having issues. And I know, as I'm getting older, my testosterone is lower. So I mean, it's people want to call it, you're disrupting or rude, or it's like, no, Jerry's not disruptive or rude. She's just trying to help me remember something important. Um, there are no like control issues. It's more of a um, it's more of either a memory issue, or just trying to remind me what we talked about doing the day before. Um, I'm already seeing a lot of trolls, and um, I'm gonna. I should have done this last night. All right, if you are truly trying to help me out, you're not gonna put down Jerry. You're gonna help me for me, not go, oh, it's Jerry's fault of this, or Jerry's trying to do that. Da 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 da. No, no, she's trying to make things better for all of us, and I don't care what your medical past is, or degree, or anything like that, Fred. Um, but as my one therapist said to me, the only person who can change me is me. Now, yes, Jerry has helped me out. I mean, I can barely count how many times she's helped me out, even with my memory issues. But I can tell you this much: if it wasn't for Jerry, I would probably be either a very timid driver, or not at all, because unfortunately my mom has issues being a passenger in a car, let alone being a passenger in a car with somebody who's just barely learning how to drive. So I praise Jerry for that. I praise Jerry for taking me out of a shell of being timid and not assertive enough. Um, so I mean, I don't care what you people want to say. I mean, yes, there was a lot of things that was said yesterday that were helpful, but for the bulk of what happened last night, it was not helpful. It was not only degrading Jerry, but it was actually degrading me. And I mean, I knew who helped me. I knew who was trying to guide me into trying to better myself. The ideas of taking a walk, going out in nature, um, going and sitting in the library for a couple hours just to get out of the house. They're all great ideas, but it's my decision if I want to get out of the house or not. You want to fault me for not trying to get out of the house, that's fine and dandy. You can fault me all you want. But last night got out of control because there was way too many fast conversations. There was way too many people trying to, I mean, basically, practically took over the conversation. And my conversation last night was not aimed at degrading Jerry or putting Jerry down or anything like that. My conversation last night was going to be aimed more at what was going on, what we're still planning, and some of the stuff that I'm learning. But somebody decided to start making negative comments, and unfortunately, my brain spiraled. I went down the wrong rabbit hole, and I'm really upset about it. And
Okay, we resolved it. I
yeah,
understand.
we resolved it, but it's upsetting.
Don't focus on it.
Oh no, I'm not. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, that happens again. One, I don't give a damn what you're trying to say, but if I feel like it's degrading my wife, you're not gonna be on my channel. I don't care anymore. I gotta focus on what I gotta focus on, and if I have to focus on the positive by getting rid of the negative, so be it. And if you want to sit there and go, oh, he just doesn't want to hear the truth or blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want to hear your truth if you're going to be negative. You want to be positive, you want to be uplifting, you want to be helpful, fine and dandy. But you want to start degrading my wife again? I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Can I say something really quick?
Go right ahead.
First of all, I know that this usually happens with teenagers and their parents. But who was the first person ever told you to take the dog for a hike on the trails in Missouri? Would that be me? I've been constantly telling him,
Possibly.
go for a walk. Take the dog just for walks. Like, Jim puts her out on the chain. He used to walk her around the yard. When Cece would take her for a walk, she'd walk around the block. I'm like, just take the dog for a walk. Go around the neighborhood. Put your headphones on. Listen to a podcast. Talk to the dog, whatever. Just to get some time out of the house. And if you want to do it without the dog, that's fine. Jim has a lot of time he spends by himself. The other thing is, Fred, I have a question for Fred. Is Fred still allowed to comment?
Yeah.
Fred, can I ask you why you don't ask Jim if he ever takes accountability for his actions about making me feel degraded? I am curious about that. I know everybody's got something to say about the way I treat Jim, but does anybody ever have anything to say about the way Jim treats me? I'm very curious about this. You guys get in my face about coming onto his video and putting a comment in about me letting him have his own time, but he sits on my live streams every single week. And
Evidently, they can't hear you.
oh, sorry. I have a question for Fred. Well, first of all, I said I was the first person to tell Jim to go take the dog on the trails here, and I actually encouraged him to go down by the river and find some of the witch stones or whatever they're called with the holes in them. Like the river can actually burrow holes in the middle of rocks. So that's what he want. We was looking for. The other thing is, I have a question for Fred. I said if Fred can answer me. Fred, do you ever go on to Jim's lives and ask him, does he ever take accountability for the way he treats me? If this is a truly helpful situation and it's not one-sided, why don't you do that? Like, why don't you ever say, Jim, why do you ever take accountability for degrading your wife on your channel? And the next thing that I was saying was, I get a lot of heat for just being in Jim's comments, like just having chat with people in the comments and helping him answer questions that he doesn't remember. And he genuinely says thank you when I answer for him. I mean, he does appreciate it. But nobody ever says anything about when he's in my lives. Every week he sits on the couch with me. And he interrupts me a lot just because he thinks I'm talking too much or he has something he thinks is important enough to say. But nobody ever calls him out on that. Like, I feel like it's a very one-sided issue. And I know why. I do know why, regardless of what anybody thinks. But I just don't get it. Like, I hear what you're saying is the reason, but I don't agree with the reason because that's just closed mindedness, if that makes any sense. So, Mom, did you want to say something? Oh, look like you raised your hand. I'm sorry. I do see about 1,000 miles an hour that the comments are going by. So, I would really like to address it. Jim's going to try to go in and. Okay?
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Are you okay though? I don't
Yeah,
care
choked
about.
on my own spit, whatever.
I was like, I don't care about the live stream, Mom. Don't die. Can you drink of water? You have your fresh water
Yeah,
over
I have
there?
water over there. It's,
I have this up here if you need it. Just tell me and I'll put it back on, okay? Um, so that's part of the big issues that I have, like when I first got hurt, which I didn't know what it was, I just thought it was regular knee pain being old and arthritis. Jim had a whole rant video and everybody was totally on board with his rant video. And if you don't have a preconceived notion about me and my life and why I get on there and egg him on and agree with him, you've never been to our house. You don't see what our dynamic is truly like. So how do you have this opinion if you're not using your bias? You know, um, that's what I'm saying. And then when he found out it was cancer, he took the video down. He took the video down once we talked about it because it was really harsh and I felt like really uncalled for. Um, not only do you, like Lisa said, not only do you not know our lives are way more than what you see on videos, we've had a lot of life. We were married 16 years together for 17 plus years before I even started my first YouTube channel. I mean, we had a whole lot of marriage before you guys got involved. Um, and Jim didn't start his till I turned 50. So that would have been the 20 years. We were together 20 years before Jim started his own channel. And, it's just it's sort of like you really don't know our history. You don't really know our lives. We try to share the good stories and the good memories and the good moments because that's what people want to hear about. Um, do we sit and we talk about all the things that went wrong and all the problems that we had? Only when they come to how do you work out these issues? Like people have asked, how do you forgive him for this? How do you work out issues like this? And I might use it as an example, but I don't just sit there and blast all the stuff. Like it's nobody's business but ours. Um, so it's like a lot of that stuff. I don't think you guys are aware of our history that we have way more than you've seen here. Um, yeah, I mean, but even the first few years on my channel, I was, still very independent. I did a lot of things by myself without any help. Obviously, there was things that I needed help, and as I didn't realize that I had a disease that was progressing, but as the disease progressed, things I got weaker and weaker, and we needed more and more help. But go back to 2017 and watch all the things that I did without any help, or how I decorated the bathroom or I used to do that stuff all by myself. Um, the those types of things are, and it's really funny because when I had to remind him that like he used to love to decorate for all the holidays, and now it's become like a burden and it's become work, and um, I feel really bad about that because I never wanted it to be anything but joyful. But excuse me. With Jim, it's funny is because oh, hi, I'm okay. I'm okay. Want to give me a kiss? Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to make sure I'm okay? I'm okay. Um, with Jim, it's kind of funny because um, even in the early days, it would be like I'm excited to do it because I know what the finished product is going to be like, but I'm dreading doing it. Like I don't really want to do the work, but I want to see the work finished. So that was like whenever it was done, he was always like, "Oh my god, it looks so pretty," or whatever it was. Like even now home in New York, it was like, "Oh, it looks so pretty. Everything looks so good. It looks so festive, and lights light up and things, and look how cute it is." And whatever it was, it's just doing the actual work part. But I think that's probably a lot of people. Everybody wants to have a house decorated for Christmas, but nobody wants to actually take the boxes out of the attic, like that. You got any more? If you guys have something, I'm just talking to fill in
Yeah.
the empty space.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that
No,
you
go
know.
ahead, just share it, and I'll address it. I told you that's no problem. If they have something that they've seen that I can't, that I need to talk about, I won't. I don't mind talking about it. So, I don't care about the reaction videos, but I know that with the reaction videos, people take things out of context. They take things that have been changed, like thoughts and ideas. I always go back to my makeup video because it's just one of the very few videos that I watched of the reaction channel where I said in a video, I said, I don't put makeup on for my videos, my craft videos. I don't put makeup on for my videos. I didn't say I never wear makeup. I said I don't wear makeup for my videos, or I never put makeup on for my videos. I had a get ready with me for an anniversary date with my husband where I put on makeup, and boy, did that become a video. I didn't say I never wear makeup. I said I don't put them on for my videos. There's a huge difference there. See, that's the one example I could say about how things are taken out of context, how things are words are taken and used, and that creates an idea in your head that may not exist. Not that the idea doesn't exist; the idea exists in your head, but it could like be an idea of something that is about us that isn't even real. So, if you do have a question that has come up before and it makes you have a preconceived notion or has an idea of what's going on, then definitely, if I've argued with my husband on a video like 10 times in the 3,000 videos that I put up on both channels, that's nothing. That's like not even 3%, was 0.03% of the times that I've argued with my husband. But if you pick the 3 times out or the 10 times out or whatever it is I just said, and you put them together, it's going to sound like I always argue with my husband. Like obviously things are in context and out of context. It makes a huge difference. Um, One of the big things, which is kind of funny, is that we were talking about Oreo last night and how he didn't want the dog. And I was like, Jim has this habit, and it's for whatever reasons I'm not mentioning. Jim has this habit of deleting his text messages and his text message chains. He says it's to give space on his phone, and possibly it is. Maybe that's why it started all those years ago. But I don't. And I don't do it because I need to gather evidence. I don't do it because it's not a problem for me. Plus, I have text messages from my brother who passed away when he like last talked to me. I have had to screenshot them because now somebody has his phone number, so I can't keep those types of things. But I love keeping my friend Bobby who passed away, and I have messages of him calling me his Monday wife and that he loves me and he misses me, and those are nice to see um years down the road. So I said to him, I was like, I'm not trying to say like I saved evidence that you said this, but I have the text messages that said that you were sad about the dog not getting the dog. You're saying you don't want the dog. And all in those text messages, you never said, but I don't want a dog now. Like you might have said that to somebody. Maybe you said it on a live stream. Maybe you said it to someone else. But you never said like now's not a good time to get a dog to me. I just know the facts. I said I turned to mom and I said, oh my gosh, he went in his office and he's really sad about the dog not being able to get the dog. Mom and I talked about if we're going to get a dog, it's going to be a girl. And then she said she's the person who gave it to us said, oh, they still have girls. So then we went and like, okay, this would be a nice surprise. And he was at work and he came home and he was crying because he's so happy to see her. Like this is my memory of you wanting a dog. And he like turning it around all the time. He's like, it's your dog. You wanted the dog. And I was like, what? Like, yeah, I love animals, but yeah, like I was turning down dogs for 20 years, whatever, or 10 that we've lived here. I was like, I could have waited. Once I saw her, it was different because I felt like she was my forever love. But that was after the fact. So it's just a lot. And I knew she was going to be hard work for him or work for him, not even hard work, just work. But then I also knew she was going to be work for me trying to train her and stuff. I just figured we'd take it on together. But then he got like so upset about it. Like when every time he had to do something, I know what it's called. It's ADHD symptom, and it's called hyperfocus rage. So if the person with ADHD is hyperfocused on a task, and they have to get called away from the task or they get interrupted from the task, it actually creates rage, and that's basically what happens to Jim. He gets hyperfocused, whether it's on a video game, talking to his mom, doing studies, watching a movie, whatever it is. He can hyperfocus. What happened? Oh, he can hyperfocus on the task. And then if he gets interrupted, because I don't know that he's hyperfocusing on a task because he's out here or whatever, he gets instantly cranky, mad, all these things. And that's one of the reasons why he really has to get his ADHD treated. He wasn't like that as bad before his hormones changed. When we first met, he would be frustrated, like he would always hear him sigh. But he wouldn't get angry at me. He would just be like sort of semi frustrated because I guess it was something he worked on all the years like of growing up with ADHD without treatment. Um, you grow to have these tools in your arsenal of how to deal with such X, Y, and Z. So yeah, it's just one of the things about the dog that really has caused a lot of frustration. And the fact that she barks, the deep, loud, sharp bark. We're trying to teach her to use inside voices. And I joke a lot where I'm like, Oreo, you have to use your inside voice. If you see a scary monster in the yard, you turn over and you say, Nanny, excuse me, there's a scary monster in the yard. Obviously, she's not going to do that. But we're trying to train her to have an inside bark so that she can growl at it. And we can understand that there's a danger sign, but it doesn't startle everybody out of their heart. So like that's part
yeah.
of it. So when Nanny gets really frustrated or like is scared about it, then Jim gets frustrated with her. And I was like, you yelling at her to not be loud is not going to teach her to not be loud. She just thinks you're talking loudly to her. We use voice like inside voice, softer, softer, lower, lower. No, ma'am. That's a big one. No, ma'am. She does something wrong. Is she hurting you? Okay. It's kind
She
of good
said
that
one
we're.
time when she stretched.
Yeah, well, I'm saying she stretched up against the pillow now, so you're okay. I feel like this is good. Then this, when the live's over, Nanny wants to take her nap, or you'll be ready to go down. um, she is napping a little bit, but she's really not. We have any more questions? Again, just pop in with anything you want to talk about because I'm just going to keep talking otherwise.
I don't understand this, but it says Sally asked Jerry if she saw Pam's life is going to be moving to Texas. I commented to her and said if she moves, someone will have to walk up there and feed the outside cats. It's not that far. Totally.
I don't watch Pam's life. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I don't
I
even.
used to when she was. No, I thought we were friends. Like honestly, we thought we were friends. Then I found out she was not, and I was like, "What the hell did that happen?" Like, I wasn't watching anybody's YouTube channels for a while, except the Fry Life, and occasionally do it on a dime. Like that was literally what I was up to for a while, and then I even stopped watching all that. I had to go back because of how I was feeling. People thought I just wasn't posting, but I wasn't not just posting. I wasn't watching either. Um, when you really enjoy your work and you can't do it anymore, sometimes you have to avoid it altogether. I'm just saying. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like when I start cooking at the table and then I'm like, oh, I'm ready to start baking. Let's make some cookies. Let's do some cake. Like I just want to keep it going. But obviously, my helpers don't have unlimited energy because they're not sitting at the chair, or if maybe their pain is different than my pain.
Let me know.
What, Mom?
If you want to bake a cake, just let me know.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, we do cupcakes for you anyway, right? Because it's portioned out.
Yeah.
Well, I have keto brownie and keto chocolate chip cookie kits. I wanted to make brookies. I wanted to make keto brookies. But yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that. I've had these kits and we buy all this junk, but it's so much easier to just get some eggs and butter together and make the things that I can eat without worrying so much about the calories. But my food stamps got cut in more than half. More than half. It's about, I guess I have 2/3 of what I had. That's probably 2/5 of what I had before. So I lost a third. Yeah, I lost a third. I have 2/3. No, I have 1/3. I lost 2/3. That's what I'm trying to say. Of the food stamps that I had before because of X, Y, and Z, and it's like hard now. Like I was talking to my doctor, my primary, about like a special diet. You think that SNAP would give you a questionnaire about if you have special diet needs? Because yeah, I need to eat low carb, gluten free. Especially kids today that have all kinds of food allergies. The food pantry always wants to give everybody peanut butter and jelly. That's really great, except if your kid's gonna die just from having peanut butter in the house. That's not great. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that that aren't being thought of. You know, um, Moms out there want to eat like whole and organic foods. Everybody just disappeared at the same time. Like on the TV, everything just disappeared at the same time.
Oh.
Just people stop talking. Okay,
A moment.
that was very weird. But like organic, like I can barely get the 80% ground beef tube. I can barely afford that for the month or whatever. So not me, but people. So it's just it's just sort of okay. We rub it when we hit the chest. Do your neck when we do. When we just stop talking. When Daddy talk, yeah. Let's give Daddy the microphone. Oh, come on, talk. Baby, stop talking.
Yeah, that's a dog for you.
What my said, government does that to people on food stamps. People who rent lose money and get more stamps. So it seems like catch-22.
To raise the Social Security and cut food stamps. And you're like, well, I'm back where I was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It all.
Look at all this dog hair.
What'd you say?
I said, look at all this dog hair.
Well, it's on
She's
the dog.
shedding.
Any questions for me? I thought you had some things that people were saying that you wanted me to address.
Not that I remember.
How about you?
Let's see.
Actually, I do have one.
Let's go up to the top here. Simone's girl said, Jerry, no disrespect, but some of your dog training is non-conventional.
It's on your shirt. Down,
Mhm.
down, down. Well, can you ask her before you hand it to me? Can you ask her what dog training do you think is non-conventional?
What is
Not
what?
convention.
Yeah, what dog training is considered unconventional? Because I don't know if there is a conventional way. I mean,
Well, yeah.
every dog responds differently. I mean, just like human beings, dogs have their own personality, and you either have to learn how to work with it or I hate using the word dominate it because a lot of dogs, especially with Oreo's breeds, a lot of dogs are um, they're if they're set in their ways, it's kind of hard to reset their ways. But she is coming along with some of the training that we've been trying, and we're just trying our best to make sure the dog is not a wild child. Um, she has been responding to a variety of commands, like heel, get, yeah,
Forward and
forward.
wheelchair.
Yeah, she was doing good. What was her wound care appointment? Friday or Thursday? Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday, she did help get the dog in, or actually, the dog helped Jerry get in and out of the doctor's building. So that I mean, that's what's going on.
Going forward very quickly. She learned to stay on the one side very. Oh. She learned the command of forward very quickly. She learned to stay on one side very quickly. I'm sorry. That's why I gave Daddy a microphone. I wasn't gonna talk. Sorry, go put your head down. It's all right. I love you, Jess.
Um,
Yeah, Mom. I'm sorry.
no, I'm looking. I lost.
Okay.
Ellie Hagan said, "I hope that you two work out the kinks between yourselves. I care for both of you and wish all three of you the best. Oreo too."
Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, 100%. We just have to keep talking, and we have to remember the truth. Like again, whose truth? No, the truth. Like, yes, everybody has their own truth, but they don't really. There is facts. There is their truth. That's their perception. But there is facts. There is facts, and this is the way that it happened. And I understand that you perceived it differently, or I perceived it differently. But let's go back and say, like, some of the things I was upset about, he was talking about, he really wasn't talking about. It was in the comments, and he really didn't know that there was a whole conversation going on. So I got upset with him, and he's like, "Well," I went back and looked, and I was like, "Oh, he wasn't part of that conversation. He didn't stop the conversation from happening, but he wasn't part of it." So, yeah, so I was like, "Okay, so it's not just him that doesn't understand or doesn't remember and gets upset. It's me too." So, I, um, I definitely that was a thing last night, and we talk about it. That's the thing that's really important is to remember who we are, how we started, what we want for each other, how much we love each other. Like that's the part that's hard. People are actually putting feelings in Jim about like making him doubt that he could love me, if that makes any sense. And what that's doing is it making me feel like I'm not loved. And if that doesn't make any sense, then I'm sorry. But then we have to talk about it. And he's remembered, like, oh no, I do. Like, I do love her. And this is why. And, this hasn't changed. And those types of things. So, our new life, our new dynamic, me being sick and him taking care of me, is a lot for anybody to take, but especially like somebody who didn't grow up where I grew up. I actually talked to my sister on the phone the other day, and I won't say why I asked this question, but I said, of all the things that our parents did, or that mommy did really, of all the things that she might have done wrong that we regret her doing, do you ever regret her teaching us to care for others? And my sister was like, absolutely not. And my sister Jane actually worked at AHRC with me for a long time too. Um, but absolutely do not regret that at all. That is one of the greatest gifts she gave us. And it started back with my grandma. Like I told you last week, my grandma was she moved in when like around the time I was born, so like 1970. She would have been 59, 60 years old. Um, and she was still working at the time. She was still working. She was a switchboard operator for a doctor's office. Like one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy, yeah. And she did that for a few more years until she became of retirement age. And then she like helped get me on the bus in the morning. Like she was very active until I was about 7. And then she came back and she was she had a very sedentary lifestyle for a year where she was staying with my aunt. And when she moved back, she needed a lot more care. You know, she was sitting on like she did, whoa, easy. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a noise outside. Okay. It's okay. Good job, inside voices. Good job, inside voices. Good job. You want to go check it out? You want to go check it out? It sounded like something just fell in the kitchen. Good job. Oh, the ice maker. Oh, okay. Good job, mommy. I know. Thank you. Go ahead. You can go look. Soft voices in the house. Good job, mommy. Good job. You can look.
Simone's girl said, "My dog trainer taught me not to feed human food, especially sweet things, and do not feed in bed."
Well, I don't feed them in bed.
True. The dog carries them up in the bed.
Yeah,
Oh, feed them in our bed. Oh, I thought you meant feed her in her bed.
No.
Yeah, that's whatever. My dog trainer didn't teach me that, so it's fine. Like we know, there's different people have different techniques. That's true. Raising children, raising dogs. But I also don't have a professional dog trainer. I'm just learning as I go. I'm seeing what works for Oreo. Um, as far as feeding her people food is concerned, that's the part that I've had a conversation with Jim a lot. Like literally people food, not the processed stuff, but people food is real food and it's better for the dog than processed, than even dog food. Um, the homemade food that I make, the ground turkey and the sweet potatoes and the peas, all that stuff's better for her than even kibble. I know that's not what you mean. You're talking about the processed stuff, but I don't give it to her all the time. It's not something she has I mean, we haven't even had snack cake in the house in a week and a half, so it's not even like something. It's just she likes to share when people are eating, and if she's behaving herself and sharing properly, then I like to reward her for it.
Give that mic, please.
Oh, uh-oh. Sorry, what's going on?
All right. For those who are arguing about what's good and not good for the dog, I have had multiple dogs throughout my life. As a military child, I've had at least 2 dogs in most of the places I've lived, except for Germany. My dog, or I should say my dad, not my dog, my dad has fed our dogs throughout my life table scraps. We know that dogs should not have chicken bones because they can splinter and hurt the dog's esophagus. As for the sweets, I agree, dogs should not have cakes and whatnot. As for pickles, I had my last dog,
Anything about pickles?
Yeah.
one of the people on this chat,
Oh, well, dogs aren't supposed to have garlic, so as long as they're not garlic,
right?
you know.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We've given the dog cucumbers.
Yeah.
We've given the dog pickles. We've given the dog carrots. Most of the things that we give the dog is either already in dog food of one form or another, and it's a natural item. Now, for the other things that are loaded with carbohydrates and fillers and whatnot, like cakes and whatnot, I agree. Shouldn't be feeding the dog that.
But I disagree because she's my dog and I'll give her what I want.
Exactly.
So I mean,
So
it's
you
just like kids. Mommy sneak, daddy takes them to the ice cream parlor. Mom's like giving them vegetables. It's the same thing except backwards.
okay. Dogs in the wild, yeah, they don't eat a lot of the stuff that we give our dogs. But you got to realize the really good dog food has carrots and
Oh, yeah.
celery and veggies of one form or another and a variety of different meats. Dogs in the wild do eat vegetation. They do eat grass and other things of that sort because it's good for their digestive system.
Dogs in the wild don't always live as long as dogs in homes, domesticated dogs. They have different digestive systems because they haven't been domesticated. And the other thing is, you're saying dogs in the wild, and I feel like you mean like we talk about dingoes and wolves because dogs who actually are like feral dogs, they eat everything. Like they'll eat the paper out of the garbage can. They don't care. So I
Exactly.
don't exactly understand what we're talking about. And I don't have the microphone. So I
Oh,
don't know if they heard
yeah.
me. Sorry. Did they get any of that?
I don't know. Lisa just said Mike.
Oh,
In other words.
Sorry, Lisa.
where is it?
I got it still.
Yeah, stand it back so I can stop saying.
They can't hear you.
Sorry. Why
Well,
can't you
get
just-
that New York voice working.
Why can't you just leave it on your chest, right? The what I was saying was you saying dogs in the wild. Do you mean like dingoes and like wolves, or you're talking about like feral dogs? Because dogs in the wild, like dingoes and wolves, don't live as long as domesticated animals. Domesticated animals don't have the same uh, nutrition habits or eating habits that dogs in the wild do because they've been domesticated. They don't have to hunt for their food as much, even though they like to, but they don't have to, and there's a huge difference there. But if you're talking about wild dogs, like feral dogs, because they'll eat everything. You ever seen a dog, a stray dog, hit a dumpster? No holds barred. It doesn't make a difference. If it sits still long enough, it's getting eaten. Live or dead, rotten. They're like dogs. You can't give your dogs rotten food. I'm like, tell that to a dumpster dog. I'm just saying. They'll eat sandwiches. They'll eat cake. Whatever there is, they'll eat. The other thing which we found out now, and they were one of the big things is like dogs can't have garlic and onions, which I was like, you know what, Jim? I'm not saying that I'm going to give my dog garlics and onions, possibly purposefully. However, if that was the case, both of my dogs when we were growing up would have been dead way sooner because my father only cooked everything with garlic and onion. Like if it didn't have garlic and onion in the recipe, it was garlic and onion powder on everything. So yeah, and my dogs definitely ate table scraps. But I had a Great Dane. He also ate through the side of food bags. Like, you come home and there'll be a hole in the side of the food bag, and kibble would be everywhere. So that's my story. Oh, you used to butter off the counter. Just be like, my father would leave butter out to soften. The dog would eat it. And again, I told you, my dog ate everybody's Easter basket, and that chocolate didn't kill him either. So yes, there's things you shouldn't do. The dog never has chocolate. That's a big thing. White chocolate is good for her, not good for her, but it's not bad for her. But then
Wait a
I've heard
minute.
people,
You're not giving the dog white chocolate.
I'm not allowed to give the dog white chocolate. No, but like the same
That's
with
mom.
the Easter egg, when she went to go give it to you and it got destroyed.
Yeah.
It was okay that she had it because it had white chocolate on it.
Well, that was like lick it off the.
Yeah, back of the
Paper.
wrapper and everything.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So like, what is people food? What is like? Go and look on veterinarians talk about people making their own dog food on YouTube or TikTok, and you can watch and you can see their opinions. And doggy nutritionists or veterinarians, it's every dog breed is a little different. Like we were talking about my sister's Westie that can only eat lamb because that's like, they're sensitive and they're purebreds. This dog's a mutt. She's a mutt of a domesticated dog and a feral dog, not feral, but a wild, stray dog. So it's like, I don't know what she knows, what she's ingrained in her DNA. So, yeah. Am I doing everything perfectly? No, but I'm doing everything the way I like it.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. And she's not unhealthy, other than the spot on her foot, which could be a yeast infection, like I said. But I think it's more like she got bit by something just because the manner to which it grew. But if it is, I'll just find out from the doctor, and the doctor will tell me what to do and what not to do. But it's not going away without all the crap because she hasn't had crap in forever. Or what you guys consider crap. But it's not getting any better. So it's not even like something different. But anyway, yeah, that's what I was saying with the microphone.
No.
Questions.
Diane said she's praying for us.
Oh, thank you,
Uh,
Diane.
They were
Diane
talking
who?
about
Diane who?
Diane Williams.
Hello, Diane Williams. I don't know you, but welcome.
No, wait. Yep. Diane Williams, because there's a Diana Prince.
Oh.
Ann. And
Oh,
wanted to
Diana
make sure-
Prince, like Wonder Woman? Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah, but she's not doing so wonderful.
Oh.
Well,
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know why you
everybody-
guys aren't sharing. So, like, I get a lot of heat that people are blocked from my channel. I'm not even getting these comments. You know that, right? Like, they're not even reading them to me to be upset by it. So,
Nellie said Sally wouldn't part with her white chocolate. You got it.
I don't want to tell mom, but if she doesn't like it, Oreo gets. I'm just kidding.
I don't like it. I get it.
Nellie Hagan said, "Hey Jim, leave New York alone."
Uh,
Yeah, that's fine with me. Leave New York alone.
Mom said, leave by herself.
She also said only for New York breakfast bagel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the food.
Yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. Jim was talking about last night, and whether or not it came up or was talking about it previously in a live, he was talking about how people like diss New York, and that, I don't know, was it New Yorkers are stupid or what I was going to say, and that people more sophisticated out here or something like that. But I was like, do people know that everything first was happening in New York? Like, and I'm not being prejudiced. It was like, where was the first government? Where was the first cat? Like, everything was happening there first. That's where the immigrants came. So all the food came there first. And not anymore because airplanes. But that's the way it was. That's why they say that New York's got the best food, is because that's where it's been practiced and perfected and all these things before it's sent out to the world. Like, I have to hear video. I watch a lot of creators from St. Louis, because they'll tell you like the best barbecue, their favorite thing. Come see this. So, like, one of the ladies was like, you're from St. Louis when you have the best Chinese food, and there's no arguing. And I was like, hold on a second. I love you. You're a great creator, and I appreciate all your content, but we will have a fight right now. And I'll be honest with you, the Chinese food in Chinatown is so much better than the Chinese food in Long Island. So it's not like even about that. But the Chinese food in San Francisco is just as magnanimous. I mean, I think that there's no comparison. They are the same people. I feel like created the same menu in San Francisco that did in New York, and vice versa.
Nellie
So-
said the first chicken wing came from Buffalo, New York.
That's right, it sure did. And don't tell me I know it. It's the Anchor Bar. They created the buffalo wing. There's no buffaloes in buffalo wings because they were created in Buffalo. Duh. That was a throwback too.
What do you mean? You're trying to tell me that buffaloes can't fly because the wings
No
have been
wings.
removed?
Oh.
We actually, when we went, for my sister got married in Canada, we went to, I think we went to Duffy's though. I don't think we went to the Anchor Bar. We went to Duffy's, which has become like the place. It's got like 8,000 types of different, no, I'm exaggerating. There's like 25 different ranges of sauce, of heat in the sauce. So that was the place to go. Rob took us there. And then on the way to or the way home, it was the way to, we got garbage plates at Timmy Ho's, right? DVDs or Timmy Ho's, or not Timmy Ho's, Nick Ho's or Stevie D's. It used to be Stevie D's and now it's Nick Ho's, or it used to be Nick Ho's and now it's Stevie D's, one or the other. And also Tim Hortons out in Canada, when we were there in 2009, they had food. Like, you could go in the middle of the night and get a cup of chili and they gave you free French bread. And I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. We went back to the hotel room because we all got there late, and I had just like, we had just bought like a bunch of soup, a bunch of chili, and a bunch of bread, and just brought it back to everybody, donuts and coffee too. But like, oh my gosh, let's just do that. Unfortunately, you didn't get to come because you stayed home with Pop because he was sick. And I really do appreciate that. I wanted to know, I know I've said it before. I missed you being there because it was nice to have the hotel room and everything, but I missed you being there. But I'm so grateful that you were able to stay with Pop. Okay, Mom, I'm sorry.
A few things.
Sure.
J Peach said hi, Finny. Evidently, what my oh my is Finny or Andrea or something like that. Sierra Gold is here.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but welcome. Sierra?
Sierra.
Oh, Sierra Gold. Hi, Sierra Gold.
Hi, Sierra Gold. J Peach said, love you, Jerry. Since you tell all your viewers, I wanted to tell you.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. I love you too. I do love everybody, even the people who don't have nice things to say, because I pray for them the most, to be honest. I figure whatever it is, either they're misdirected or they're hurting. Either one of those has to requires prayer in my mind.
Talking at Nellie Hagen Anchor Bar. I live about 20 minutes from there.
Another
Ti-
reason to visit Nelly.
Uh,
In the
Timmy,
summertime, Nelly, because I'm not going through 12 feet of snow. I'm just saying.
Timmy Hose is 2 minutes away. Uh,
Everybody's got Timmy Hose 2 minutes away in Buffalo. I'm just saying.
oh,
It's like
I was
Dunkin'
gonna say-
Donuts and the rest of the Long Island,
Yeah.
There's like 9,000 of them. Yep.
Okay, I think we're about the end of that.
Oh, okay. Any more what you guys didn't think was nice things that you want me to talk about?
Well, I could go back up in there because
I mean, I really, like I said, I really don't mind addressing it. Because here's the thing, and I'm to be honest with you, I'm not saying ignorant like it's a bad thing, because I call myself ignorant all the time. That's why I don't want to hear about what happens on the other channels, because ignorance is bliss. If I don't find out that people hate me, I don't know that people hate me. I'm sure they are out there somewhere, but I don't know about it. However, the same thing goes for if you have a misconception because of somebody said something. I would like to be able to teach you that that's not the truth, or show you how that isn't the truth, or show you what the truth is, or my truth, or the facts, or whatever it is I'm trying to say. So if there's something that you have a question about that you think, like the thing with the guy with Jim, like did Fred ever come back with an answer of why he never calls Jim out on how he treats me?
No,
Yeah.
so fed up with him, I blocked him.
Why? I actually leave him so I can find out. All right. It's all right. I just was like, yeah, I want to find out what he's taught. You put him on block, or you put him on timeout?
Block.
Yeah, I just put these people on timeout. They just take like 30 minutes where they can't comment, or whatever, how long the timeout I pick. Hi. I know kisses aren't good for dogs either, but I don't care. Just mommy. Aw, she's such a good girl. Cold cuts aren't good for dogs, but they're not good for people either. But I eat the cold budding, and the edges are really sharp from my mouth most of the time. So she gets all the edges. But
Chicken wings and barbecue.
ooh, I like chicken wings with barbecue sauce. Actually, I never met a chicken wing I didn't like. I'm not a girl who does spice hot. So I've definitely be like mild chicken wings, but I do like buffalo wings. But they have to have blue cheese, not ranch. I'm sorry. They're okay with ranch, but they're better with blue cheese. But only if you can eat blue cheese.
Nellie Hagen. I don't know if you said that. Nellie Hagen said chicken wings for everyone.
Oh, okay.
I'll just take plain
Okay.
fried, thank you.
Yesterday was 420, and all of the the fast food pizzerias were all like celebrating 420. Don't forget the wings and pizza. It was really funny.
What's so special about 420?
420 is the police code for marijuana, possession of
Oh.
marijuana. So on 420, like all the people celebrate, people who smoke marijuana,
Okay.
use marijuana products, they celebrate. Especially now in places where it's legal. It's a like they had big sales over at both dispensaries here yesterday. But it's become synonymous with April 20th. But it was funny because they're like wings and pizza for everybody. Don't forget your midnight snack. You celebrating 420? Don't forget we deliver till 2 a.m. or something. It was really funny.
Nellie Hagen said Parmesan garlic wings.
Yes. I make a baked garlic wing that mom likes. We haven't had them in a while either, right? It was hard to get wings for. It's hard to get wings for a while. Definitely around football season. They're not only that they're more expensive, but that's not even an issue all the time. But it's that they're always sold out. And it's really funny. Before buffalo wings became popular, and my father was born in 1938. He used to talk about how cheap his mom would buy the chicken wings from the butcher because they would be left over, and she would cook them in like a butter sauce. He's like, she would just boil them in. I'm like, boil them in butter? That's a lot of but butter was cheap then too. Um, and she was like, she would just boil them in garlic butter, and they would just like we would eat them like bowlfuls. And he's like, and now they're $2.99 a pound. She was like, she used to get them from the butcher practically free. So it's just funny. If you buy a whole wing connected, you can always use the tips for stock. It's really good for stock. If you're gonna, butcher them yourselves, I'm sorry. Sometimes getting the 3-part wing is a little bit less expensive when you do the math than buying the pre-cut. But here at Walmart, you can get them frozen, separated already, into flats and wings, wingettes and flats. Did I say wingettes? Did I talking about food again? Mom, you're always talking about food. You want me to throw it?
Aunt Arnie Cooper asked why Jerome was blocked. Are you
Who's
blocked?
Jerome?
Huh?
Who's Jerome?
Jerome Investigator.
He's blocked from my channel. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
the guy from Jim's last night.
Yeah.
I never saw him on my channel. I never saw him before
I
last
think
night.
he's been on yours too.
Oh, well, I didn't block him. I don't do that. So ask the moderators why Jerome Investigator is blocked. People always ask me, and I really don't know. I really can't tell you.
It's more like conversations in between them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, when I looked for something, somebody was asking about I was blocked, and I was looking, and I was like, who blocked all, like literally, I was like, who blocked all these people? I went back and I saw like Jennifer Anonymous. She wrote my first like little like hate comment that I addressed back in 2017. And like she was like the first person I blocked, because afterwards she was not, no matter what I said to her, she wasn't being kind. Like, no matter how we talked about, I told her the truth. She accused me of, at the time, of spending all my Social Security money that I was getting from being a lazy ass at the Dollar Tree. And I was like, well, I started this channel with talking to my husband about getting $25 a week to do whatever, and we budgeted it, and I'm not on Social Security, so I don't know what you're talking about. No matter what I said to her, she kept arguing, kind of like other people do. So it's kind of like, I have this. Oh yeah, okay. She was the first person I blocked, and she's still the first person I blocked. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, she's down there. But I don't really remember blocking many people at all. Like, people had a lot of hateful things to say to me a long time ago, but I just mostly remember, trying to educate them into facts. Like, you coming up with accusations, you think this and the other thing, and I just trying to tell you the truth, whatever.
Arnie Grouper said, "So is Sally getting locked away in 2 rooms now?" Nice.
What does that mean?
Well, we're talking about making that into an actual apartment with the. I don't think that's going to happen because I think it's too expensive. Really, between having to, well, first off, I guess tear up the carpets and the floors just to put it in the plumbing for a sink type thing.
But you wanted to get new carpets anyway. That's why I thought.
Well, that's
about
true,
that.
but the reason I haven't gotten new carpets is the expense. So, yeah, I don't think it's a very nice idea for me, and no, I don't think I would be locked away.
Well, no. So the idea was, Mom wanted a tiny house.
Yeah.
Park out in the back thing, and I said it'd be much less expensive to all
You
this
think
place.
so?
Oh, 100%.
Well, the other thing
What
is,
I explained it to Jim was, in a tiny house, you still have to add air conditioning, add water, add plumbing, add the carpet, add the flooring. Like, that all has to be put into a tiny house, but you also have to add the floor and the walls and the ceiling and the roof. That already exists in this structure. You already have a bathroom.
yeah,
You already have the
I
roof.
just
Oh, sorry. You already have a bathroom and the full, like you have your bathroom, you have your walls connection. That you have to add to a tiny house. I mean, if you buy a tiny house, they're, $90,000. You're not going to buy, or $45,000.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost $45,000 to alter your space.
Well, the thing
But
is,
it's up to you.
get like a
though.
mortgage on that
What?
thing. Get like a mortgage on that thing. If I do the house, it would be something like $45,000. Yeah, but
Well, it would be a HELOC or whatever, like we talked about. But actually, you're not going to be able to do that anyway until we get our credit fixed so we can buy the house. It's not even about that,
okay.
Yeah, so that was something him and I talked about. Even if you bought a tiny house, it would still be the same thing. Like, we'd have to be able to afford this
It's
place.
something that
We have to talk more about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And the thing about the difference between here altering your space and getting a tiny house is that we could do, like, say we save up, and I say we because at the time it'll be different. Say we save up $3,000. Well, okay, we've got the $3,000. Now we can go get the ductless air conditioning installed. We don't have to have the money up front or whatever either. Like, or if the HELOC says, right now we can give you $5,000 without changing your payment. Just say, because this is what you can take out now. Then you say, okay, for $5,000 we can get the air conditioning, get the floors done, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's
yeah.
definitely a different situation, for sure. But the thing is, if you have a tiny house, this is way too much house for me and Jim. Unless you move the tiny house somewhere else, that's another thing, I meant if we all moved somewhere else is what I meant. Not like mom
Oh,
goes to live, mom,
okay.
you go live down the block, and not like that. I just
Yeah.
meant if we all moved to a different location,
Yeah.
But this is a lot of house. I said to Jim, I'm like, this is, that's 600 square feet. This is 2,000 square feet. Like what are we going to do with all the space if mom gets a separate tiny house? Because then we really can't rent it. Because then if we have renters who are loud and noisy, they're going to bother mom anyway. So it's kind of like, what do we do? It's like,
Yeah.
um, so
Buy about 2.5 acres somewhere, and yeah, work on that.
yeah,
But
I think we just buy the property to the guy, like the whole property. But just like I told Jim, I was like, can we just buy like a half acre on that extended? We'll just cut a hole through the shrub for mom to walk in and out. She'll have her privacy. But yeah, I mean, it's just something to think about, something to work on.
yeah. Diane Williams asked, how was your and James' trip to get cigarettes the other day? Nice.
It was still warm out, or was it cold already?
It was a little chilly.
Yeah.
Too cold, but not too hot.
Oh, okay. Mom said chilly. Jim said not too cold, not too hot. That just goes to show you.
Yeah. Betty B said hi, Peach. Evidently, she was saying, where are my comments? I haven't seen any comments from you.
I see
No.
this one that Betty B. Apparently, you saw that one, right?
Yeah. J Peach said, your house is lovely, though. I love the decor.
My house?
I presume.
Oh, thank you. I would like to tell you that I have comment restrictions on. If you say words that are restricted, your comments won't show up. However, the moderators will see them because they'll say restricted comment. So I don't know if you had used anything, any language that would have been comment blocked, but that's another option. People are always like, she's hidden this, she's posted this, and then I go to my hidden comments and there's like 5,000 because you use language that you shouldn't have used or mistyped something. Even sometimes people just have typos that look like bad words and they get into the hidden channels. What? Can we throw it? Can we throw it? Can we throw it? Throw it that way? Throw it up? Go throw it?
Okay.
You don't want me to throw it, huh? Okay.
J Peach also said, yes, you're though. I don't understand what that means.
Yes,
she said
weirdo?
house. Oh, yes, your house.
Oh.
I love the decor.
Oh. What? Oh. By the way, we're 99.9% done with the bathroom. Jim's just going to hang a piece of artwork. We don't know which one yet. I have an idea of which one I want to hang. I actually wanted to create a piece of artwork. There was a guy on Marketplace selling a painting in a canvas that's 27 by 40, and I told him I wanted it, and where could we pick it up? And I haven't heard from him since. So we'll see. I don't know if we're going to get it, but it's a good price for just that size of a canvas. It's weird. No, it's still up on the place. He just hasn't messaged me back. It's just weird. But oh, hi. Can I scratch my elbow? No. Okay. What? You say hi to the people? You say hi to everybody? You say hi? You say hi? Daddy scratching my head. I can't do nothing. I frozen. Oh, she brought me her indestructible bunny. This is the first one. It's all intact. No HOLEs. I don't know why I have to spell it in front of the dog. Can't spell and she doesn't really know much words anyway. But yeah, she hasn't ripped the ears off. I think this is like the best investment for $1. I'm telling you.
But my oh my wrote, Sally, can you tell us the reason you want to sell the place? You don't have to. It's location, not location really, because it's in a real good location.
Well, the weather. It's really about the weather, right?
Well, the
Having too much
weather is one
winter.
reason
Yeah.
why. It's just to, and I
How have circumstances changed? If it's okay if
Well,
I answer.
yeah, because
Yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just we want to move, and
Yeah.
I'm not renting it out, so
Yeah.
I have to sell it.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be a landlord from far away.
The mortgage keeps on going up every year. Of course, they always have.
Yeah.
Every house I've ever owned. You're in it for more than a year. You're
Yeah.
paying more than
I mean, she refinanced back in 22, I think.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
The dang it, words, they're gone. Oh, the other thing is the circumstances changed. So when we first talked about buying this house together. It was supposed to be for us to buy the house together. And for a short while, we actually were splitting the bills 50-50. But then circumstances changed. My circumstances, the world's circumstances. We actually made it through the pandemic 50-50, but then when I really got sick, that's when we stopped. And it wasn't always, sometimes it was like, Mom, I'm short 20, 50, whatever it is. Or um, one of the things we did was even split the grocery costs 50-50, so that would come out of like the house account. But then it would be like if there wasn't enough in the house account to cover groceries, or sometimes just coincidentally, me and Mom, or the house part and Mom, all need garbage bags at the same time. And we buy a big box of garbage bags or the big thing of paper towels. Mom would put that on a credit card that, that she would cover. But for the most part, we did that for quite a few years while YouTube was going strong and Jim was working 2 jobs or whatever. And then, circumstances changed. And now it's not the same. And we're not, even with the food stamps now, that's like going to be a different kind of struggle. So, things happen. If we're trying to get our finances, we're trying to figure out what Jim's next step is. As you guys know, he's talked to you about whether or not he gets approved for disability, or if he gets like a work from home job, something that he can actually do. I know a lot of customer service jobs from home actually give you like script, so he doesn't have to think about. Ouch! That was an accident, right? You thought it was the bunny? That was Mommy's hand. Hi, Dolly, Mom. Hi, Dolly. Um, the like work from home jobs actually give you things to say, so he doesn't have to like panic about it or whatever. And they give you equipment, they pay for your internet, those types of things. So depending on what he can actually do, what actually he gets, he qualifies for, we'll see what happens, and then we'll know more from there. But it's just a little bit of a waiting game. I did find out, like my research, and it's really funny because I understand that Jimmy is physically taking care of me, and I am encouraging him a lot to do his own stuff because that's something he's very uncomfortable with. He's not very comfortable with talking to the government people on the phone or X, Y, and Z. So I'm constantly saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you try this? Do this for yourself? Because I'm not going to be here forever to do it for him. And I don't want him to be stuck like I babied him and he didn't learn anything. So, but I do a lot of like, he does a lot of physical stuff for me, but I do like, I still balance the books. I still get the grocery shopping going. And even if it's making a list that he's going to go grocery shopping for, like I still do what I can. Meal planning. What do you got in the refrigerator? Or let me tell you what you can make. Did you talk to Mom? Give these ideas to Mom because those are the ingredients we have for these 2 dishes. See if one of those is better, or whatever it is. And I listen to him sometimes, and he comes out and he'll say like, I'll say, this is a really weird example, but it's not really a real example. I would say we have the food for like fish sandwiches or like meatloaf. I'll go see if Mom wants like meatloaf or fish sandwiches, and Jim will filter out what he wants and he'll go off it. I've heard that so many times. I'd be like, wait, did you tell her like ground beef and Alfredo sauce or hamburger helper, or did you just tell her hamburger helper because that's what you wanted? And he'll be like, yeah, what, honey? I don't have the bowl. I have the phone, Daddy's phone. Give back my glasses, my kisses. Want to go get the treat bag? Want to go get the treat bag? I'll give you treats. Want to go get the treat bag? I'll give you treats. Go get the train bag. Oh, Nanny doesn't. Oh, Nanny's got
thank
treats.
you. Oh,
Oh, she gave you the bunny.
she gave me the bunny. Thank you.
I wish you could see. Anyway, so
She was
yeah,
destroyed.
so I still do a lot of stuff for Jim to take care of Jim too. Make sure he takes his medicine. Make sure he goes to his appointments. Make sure he has enough medicine to get through the week or order his stuff. It's like things that people just don't get. And ow, ooh, 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 ooh. Mommy, easy,
I think it's like
easy.
a lot of households. There's a lot of good here. There's some bad. It's just the nature. I think that
And
in
Mom.
every
Ow.
relationship,
Ow!
there's
Enough.
Oreo.
Sorry, guys. Sorry,
Okay.
Mom.
there's going to be
Mom,
troubles.
Yeah.
Nobody goes through, what is it? Nobody goes through life unscarred.
Oh, sure.
So whether it's emotionally or physically or whatever, but I think like I said, I think that I mean, I grew up in a house. They didn't argue. My parents did not argue. I didn't know. I don't know how to argue very well. My husband was, "You never argue with me." You know, he'll try. He'll pull some stuff, and I'll just go, "Get over it."
You didn't argue because your father like gave in all the time, or
No,
like the thing with the piano. I imagine that would be an argument, but it
well,
wasn't.
that wasn't not in my time. That wasn't an argument. That had already been
Oh,
done.
gotcha. I gotcha.
That was
So
already done and
they didn't
done.
is that what it was? Maybe.
No, like I said, they just didn't seem to argue.
Oh.
And maybe that was my mother, like me, giving in a lot more than she should have. I don't know.
Okay. I was thinking your father gave in a lot more than she should have, but yeah,
well,
probably.
he did too. Yeah,
Yeah. I gotcha.
that could have been it.
Not standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I say to Jim in a different. I have to put into a different perspective. Well, first of all, not only that, but the dynamic of our marriage has changed because of my illness, for sure. I was much more of the hands-on caretaker person, and I'm no longer. So that's a big thing that needed to be adjusted. That's adjusting. Texting. Oh, that's okay. The other thing, like, so, the other thing that's different, it's gone. Dang it. It's about, no, it's okay.
Well,
Mom was talking about arguing. That wasn't it. I was talking about the dynamic of the relationship changing. I'm sorry. I was going to say something really profound and it's gone. So I apologize.
J. Peach asks, is Oreo a Rottweiler?
No. She is, according to the veterinarian, she is boxer, beagle, shepherd, husky.
She says that's a big puppy jumping all over the couch.
Yeah. The thing is that my back is really hurting today. And when she when you jump on my chest, that's what bothers me, baby. You can't do that. That hurts mommy. Don't want to hurt mommy, right?
Lucy
Hi,
James.
baby. What, Mom?
Lucy James said, Jerry, have you considered doing rehab so you could become more independent?
Well, it's not. So this is the thing. I don't have the physical therapy exercises that I have for my back, because my back is really the only thing that's debilitating to me right now. Is I have a pathological fracture in my L3, and it's on the right side, and it causes a lot of pain. I can't really do regular physical therapy because I can't move that spine anyway. I have to be very careful. If you guys remember, I had a TLSO. I kind of have to pretend it's on me all the time. So when I bend over, I have to like raise one leg so I can, I don't bend in half. I bend like a Dorothy Hamill camel thing, like, one leg goes out so that my spine doesn't bend in half on that side. But there's nothing there's nothing to rehab me about. It's sort of like I don't have stamina that has to get built back up. I don't have other than my core muscles, I don't have any muscles that need to be strengthened more, because I am very strong still. It just that I am limited to what I'm allowed to do for fear of hurting myself worse. If the fracture cracks, and it could cut my spinal cord, it could do tons of damage to my blood vessels and my discs. So that's what we're trying to avoid at every cost. I do see this doctor in May, my spinal surgeon in May, and we'll see what the new prognosis is, and we'll see if we'll get new limits or unlimited limits. Well, I guess new limits would be if you have less limits, it'd still be a new limit. So, hi.
Crackers in bed said your stamina doesn't need to be built up.
Oh no, I'm like, when we go out, I go out. I mean, that's the thing. I'm in pain. It's not about it's about how do you control the pain. Now, if I take the Tylenol with codeine, that's no problem. I can run a marathon. Well, I can't run a marathon because I've never been able to run a marathon, but you understand what I'm saying. I don't have a problem like my stamina, my breathing, any of that stuff. It's just about not doing the wrong thing. Except the Tylenol, codeine really does affect. Not only does it affect my digestive system, but having a backed up digestive system actually hurts my back more. Because it presses on basically imagine a full intestine. Where is it going to go? So it pushes against my spine right there at the L3. It also pushes against the kidney, which pushes against my back, the bad one on the left, because it's bigger than the right, and there's not enough room for it. Once my intestines get full, it pushes that kidney into the back, and I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. Um, but it's also a matter of what tolerate, like tolerate. Some days it just aches. Some days it hurts. Some days it hurts where I can't get out of bed. Some days it hurts where I want to punch somebody in the throat just to make them feel 5% as bad as I do. One of the creators I follow on Facebook, where she said, "Today I'm only 190% tired." And I was like, "Sweetie, there's some days why I aspire to be 190% tired. I'm just saying, like the 260,000% tired that I am right now could totally use the 190% or whatever." So, same thing goes with pain. It's like pain is relative. We talked about this before. I never had children. Could my back pain be correlated to your childbirth? I don't know. Maybe. It's just for me. It's some days it's debilitating and it hurts to sit up in the chair.
Oh, what was I?
Sorry, mom.
Lucy James said you could walk more so you could stand in the kitchen or help with the housework. That would help
Well,
Jim.
I can't. The standing part is bad. I can only walk 15 feet at a time right now. Doctor's orders. That's why I take the wheelchair into the doctor's offices and stuff.
Mario.
And I know it's more than 15 feet to get out to the car, but we're not going to tell the doctor that. But standing, that part is not it's not great. Just because I've never been a standing kind of person. Even when I was in the marching band, I would rock back and forth from one foot to the other. Probably because my bad knees at the time, because it used to hurt my knees. Um, but I've actually asked Jim to bring in a chair from right outside the back door to sit in the kitchen so I could sit and cook and stand and cook and have a chair there to sit down when I needed to, even for doing dishes. I miss doing the dishes. I find dishes very therapeutic. I find doing the dishes very therapeutic. But it's just a matter of like reminding him to do it, getting to remind him to do it. And there's things like it's hard for me to push him to do things like today. He had this whole list of things he wanted to do, and I said, "Well, okay, but don't use up so much energy that you can't feed the people." And I said, I don't mean just me. I have a jar of peanut butter and some protein snacks. I'm fine. You have to feed the dog. You have to feed the mom. What?
You got fortune cookies.
Yes, I'm saying like, don't even feeding himself. You don't use up so much energy that you can't feed the people or do the things that require your everyday. You know, he wanted to get the haircut in the shower and then do all these things, and I was like, Bub, right now you're not doing, it's not going great for you. Every time you take on X, Y, and Z, then you don't have enough for PD and Q. But PD and Q is a priority. So it's a lot of things like he has to balance every day. And is that me telling him what to do or trying to control the situation? Sometimes he feels that way. Me reminding him of things that need to be done. And I think that one of the language things we learned yesterday was you have to do this. Like that part he doesn't want to hear me say he has to do anything. Like, don't forget you have to do this, or you have to do that, or those words he said he doesn't want to hear anymore. So I'm saying, like, I want to say you need to prioritize the X, Y, and Z. You need to prioritize meal planning or grocery shopping or getting the food or putting the food away. You need to prioritize the things that have time limits, like when you have to pick up your groceries in that 1 hour window, or if medicine at CVS and it closes at a certain time. So some things have to be on a timely issue, but some things you just have to prioritize because they're the most important thing for the day. Um, and that's really what it is. I got upset with him the other day, even before his live stream, because I was in the bathroom, just gotten up, and he said something. He stood in the door and he's like, if we're going to stay here, I'm going to have to fix that room, and pointed to his room. And I like just about lost my crap. Joking, I was on the toilet, but I was like, dude, I love you. I always start those things with I love you because I want him to know that that's really where it's coming from. But I said, you have already prioritized your office way too much for this house. Like we were moving and your office is set up. Why is your office set up when we're moving? Like that type of thing. So I was like, if we stay here, we've got way more stuff to do way before then. I said, we're only staying here. We think it's only going to be temporary. Like we don't know. We're trying to make it when we know more. Like we're just going to make it keep going in the forward direction until we know more. What we know right now is right now we're living here. Let's make it the best we can. Let's, you want to downsize, we'll downsize. You want to fix up things, you want to repaint walls, whatever you want to do, let's do that now. And then, if something happens in the future, we figure out where the money's coming, we figure out our credits, okay, we can get in a mortgage or whatever. Like we'll know now, just like before. It's not happening tomorrow. And that was part of the big where I felt like I felt like it was my fault, but also like I couldn't catch it. Like I let the chicken out of the cage and I couldn't grab the chicken. That's pretty much how I could describe it. Because back in July, I was like, I think I want to move somewhere warmer. Not warmer, drier. I want to move someplace drier. And boy, did that get the fire lit under the Hensons. They were like, let's go. And I was like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. And he was like upset with me. He's like, you're not doing everything you could. I'm like, well, I've done my research that says I can't do anything till I know where I'm moving. Like, I have to have an address to apply for the Medicaid transfer and for the medical stuff. I have to have an address, but I can't have if we're doing like we can't live in a trailer. Like it was like so many different like I have 60 days. I have 60 days to live someplace temporary. But sometimes it takes more than 60 days to close on a house. And if we're getting property and then we close on the house in 30 days from the property, then we have to go get the trailer and the trailer could take like 2 months. Like where would just like all of these things. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I should have said, let's start the process of thinking about moving. Like, I should have said, like, what do you guys think about moving? Or what would you think about it if we did this? And we did some research. Mom and I did like, best place we can go with best kind of climate and this kind of affordability near cancer centers or near hospitals that are related to cancer centers. Like, we did some things first, but our garage sale was in like the beginning of September
Mhm.
and I still wasn't ready, to be honest, till the second week of September. I was packing stuff for the garage out like the last day of the garage sale, which was the second weekend, and I still wasn't ready, and it was like we only talked about it 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, and I'm like, in that 5 weeks we got all, this, and I'm like, but still not enough, and still what are we doing, and where are we going, and those types of things. We didn't make as much on the yard sale as we thought we would. Well, I thought we would, so that we would have like a good chunk of money to get going, type of thing. But it was just the nature of the beast. I couldn't be out there bargaining. I had to put people out there bargaining for me, and they were bargaining more bargains than I would have, kind of thing. But it's hard when you sell other people's stuff. You don't really know what it's worth. So you're like, this looks like she might have bought it at the Dollar Tree. Oh no, that was $75 at Home Goods. I'm just saying, like, or those types of things. So it is what it is. But that changed the plans. And then Jimmy being out of work kind of made the plans. Like we thought he'd be going back to work sooner, but then his body broke down, so that changed the plans. And then mom feeling, mom feeling that she couldn't really live by herself far away from us, that changed the plan. So a lot of things like it evolved. But the problem was the natural, the natural, no, the natural evolution went on high speed. You know, we tried to evolve at high speed as opposed to like letting it. And then when things would come up, we'd have to change everything. So it's kind of like a lot of stuff. Like what are we doing? You know, we talked about all these different things that we could do, and let's try this. And then it was getting Jimmy upset because I was trying to, what can we do today to get everybody happy today? That's my whole thing. And you know, I I I, I don't think that that's practical to do it this way or that way. You want to go get the bunny? Want to go get the bunny? How much time have we been, by the way? Because I'm starting to get like,
Angry.
Oh, almost 2 hours.
yeah,
Mm,
it's
really?
probably. Do you want to wrap up these last few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Um, okay. Lucy James said, I would push myself every day. If you gained just a little every week, it would be a step in the right direction.
I do push myself every day. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking and not just assuming that I wasn't. I appreciate that. I do push myself every day. Sometimes it's just pushing to go to the bathroom. Sometimes it's to come out here. Sometimes it's to sit in the chair. Sometimes it's to fold laundry. Sometimes it's to sweep the floor. Sometimes it's to take care of the dog. Sometimes it's to take screws out of the wall in the bathroom or pack the towels in the shelves. I appreciate what you're all saying. You just don't have any clue because all we do is live stream here for 2 hours on a Sunday, and you think that this is my whole life. But thank you. Sorry.
Um, I think too that again things change. Do I want to live far? Do I want to go into assisted living? Do I want to buy a tiny house?
Right. Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think living is a little expensive.
I guess it depends on
So
which one you go to, though.
yeah,
Right.
but
The one Bobby lived in North Carolina, the south part of North Carolina, was gorgeous and very inexpensive.
well, that's another thing is to check around.
Yeah. Well, I
areas.
just got an advertisement for one in St. Louis, and I was like, I don't know if Mom wants to live back in St. Louis, but if she's not going to drive herself, what does she care? Like that type
What
of
is
thing.
that, Tower Grove?
How'd you know?
Because I've been getting them too.
Oh,
That's my old neighborhood. That's
I
my
know, that's
old.
what I said. I was like,
But we were
Brandon,
looking.
Brad
They
Boulevard,
were
right?
talking about prices, and I went,
Oh,
not sure
it's a lot.
about that.
Oh, okay,
And again, the neighborhood ain't what it used to be.
that's true. Um, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way either, because
Yeah,
those
and
those things come and go.
it's like, okay, I can look out my window at the park. I remember that park. I used to
Yeah.
ride my bike through there. But things just aren't the same.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
things,
I just didn't know if you could smoke in those apartments. That's the thing.
that's another thing too. We haven't even looked into that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, there's a lot of
'cause-
things that it's like, oh, this would be cool. Oh, this would be nice. Oh, how about well, what we really have to sit down
yeah, and
and
this
say this is the place
yeah.
and us.
How is it right?
Yeah,
Like, because Jim and I am always on Facebook Marketplace looking for a quick way to make money, flip furniture, resell products, whatever it is. And I come across this like guy in not Festus, in Fenton, wants to sell his trailer. It's rent to own. It's this much. It's beautiful. It's like brand new, and like you own the trailer, but you rent the land. So then you move the land, or this guy owns his land. Like all these things, you're like, I can move the trailer. It's closer to St. Louis, so those doctors will all be like right there, and
except for the ones here in Rolla.
well, no, because my facility has a hospital there, so it wouldn't be the same doctors, but the same
Yeah.
facility. This is just a satellite from. Actually, it's a satellite from the ones in Springfield, but there's ones there. Um, so that type of thing. But there's also a cancer center there, so I probably would transfer more to like cancer specific. Um, you know. Bye, Irene.
Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene. Um, but yeah, so it's sort of like one of those things. I'm like, oh, but then we're back to having humid summers, and
Yeah.
what is that? That's not really going to help the arthritis situation. But yes, it's easy because it's here and we know it. And like Mom had mentioned, she's like, I even on days uh where she's having a good day, she can kind of remember things around Rolla. Days that she's having a bad day, it might as well be like she might as well be in some strange place. But the days that she's having a good day, if she needed to tell somebody how to get somewhere or get her home or get to
I
the
can
doctor or
usually
whatever.
remember
What?
the parts of Rolla I know because
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah. So that type of thing is like, yeah, she does have that, but then there's days where it's like I might as well be somewhere else because I don't remember X, Y, and Z, or I don't know the new places, or
yeah,
things
it's
have
mostly
changed
the
so much. Yeah,
new places. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, even moving like to like a more rural part of this area, it's the same thing. Like weather-wise, it's the same thing. I swear I didn't know it was so humid when I moved here. I was like, wait, it's like the mount. Like, isn't the mountain supposed to be crisp, cool mountains? Isn't that supposed? Didn't you hear that?
These aren't the mountains.
It's all relative, but yes,
They're molehills.
there are more mountains than there are on Long Island. I'm just saying. When you like sand to the beach, sand to your house, that's not mountainous. On the North Shore of Long Island, there's cliffs because that's where the ice. You know about that? We learned that in school. That's where the ice cap melted, like for the first ice age. It dragged all the stuff at the end of Long Island, then melted into the Long Island Sound. Anyway, any more questions?
no, not really.
Okay, well, we're about 2 hours, and I'm sorry if there was a lot of discontent in the comments. I don't mean to make anybody upset. I would love to be able to talk to you guys. Look, I have an email address in the description box of every one of my videos. It says to send me friend mail, email me, but that's not just like to send me friend mail to my house. That's like to send me, if you want to email me, you can email me. And you normally check my email every day, but the most it's like 2 or 3 days. So it's not like if you have something to ask, go ahead and ask. We can have whole conversations. I've had whole conversations with people who have not agreed with me. I actually screenshot an entire Instagram chat with one of my first reaction channel people, and everything that I explained, they sounded so understanding, and then turned around and made a video on how I did that, and it was the opposite of understanding. So, it is what it is. But I have no problem. I'll talk to whoever. That's the nature of my beast. I grew up with my mom driving a cab. We talked to everybody. A cab, and then she was a bartender. What'd you say?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just to make I feel like conversation makes people comfortable. And I know its mom would prefer to be quiet and have no like limited conversation, but that's not how I grew up. I grew up with like making a person feel comfortable in your car or at the bar, talk to them how they're doing, those types of things. So get to know somebody or let them know you. Probably why I did this whole YouTube thing to begin with.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said.
What does it say?
It's a shame Jim's dad's money is all going to Jerry. What?
Well, well, first we can address that Jim's dad had no money,
Right.
right? And what? And why is it all going to Jerry? Jim's.
First off,
Oh, wait here. Hold on, hold on. First off, Jim.
first off, my father passed away way before Jerry became part of my life. And second off, the money that my father had was basically whatever money the government gave him. So I had a federal fund that was set up by my father until I was 21 years of age. And yeah, I blew that. That was me blowing my own money, my father's money that he gave to me.
They're talking about mom's VA.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love how that's. Oh,
So I don't know where you're getting off talking about my dad. You don't know jack about him. And like I just said, he passed away long before Jerry, and whatever money I had from my father from the VA was gone by the time I was not getting that after 21 years of age. Um, as for Jerry getting any money, no, she's not getting any money.
I'm not getting any money that I didn't put into the government myself.
Right. So you can take your thinking
Oh, that's you
and
don't have to be nasty.
go
Just
away.
say it's fine. You corrected their misinformation. If you're talking about mom's VA, I think is very funny. Is that I know that there's a conceived notion that I want to make this my house. No, I just want to make this a nice house. I know that the decoration is not mom's taste and it's was Jim's taste, but it's not Jim's taste anymore. But everybody who's ever come into our house is like, I love the way your house is decorated. And be honest, I mean that's everybody except the real estate lady. She was the only one. But that was because she was like, we have to unpersonalize everything, and I knew that already. But really, everybody's like, oh, it's so cute. This, that, the other thing. That's fine. Okay. That I'm sorry, my nose is so itchy. That doesn't mean that I'm taking over mom's house. The fact that I'm sitting here, she's always had her chair in the like she's always had a chair in the living room. We used to play trivia every night, and the only thing is she doesn't like it loud. We watch different TV shows, or she wants to have warmer in her space. She doesn't like this. She wasn't smoking in the common space, so that we would have trouble. Jim and I both have trouble breathing with the smoking. But now we've got a air purifier, and when it's nice out, those types of things. But it's never been like kick. I don't kick her out of the space. I don't kick her out of the kitchen. I don't keep her out of the fridge. She can cook her. Like I don't understand what the conception is, but okay, I get that. That being said, I contribute as well. Like I don't contribute out like I talked about before. I don't contribute as much now as I did when we first moved in. And then we had a break of contributing because we filed bankruptcy and it was this whole thing we had to straighten out. And I don't contribute as much as I did when my YouTube channel was really good. But I still contribute. Like that's another thing. I'm not living off mom's money. I'm doing like I'm paying my parts of the bills that I can afford to pay. Stuff we discussed when Jim stopped working. When Jim stopped working, I was like, Mom, I don't know what we're gonna do. And we've had this conversation. And since money's come up, I've been able to take on a little bit more. Not a whole bill, but like, well, actually, I do. I do have a whole bill. But it's like, it's not like mom's not living here too. And it's not like Jim's not living here too. It's not just me living here spending all the money. Like that's what the conception you guys have is. But even when I buy like the groceries that I buy, I swear it's kind of a joke in my head or in the house that like I don't need name brands. I'm a no frills kind of girl. I have a special diet. I'm like, I'll do whatever. I don't drink soda. I drink water. And when I don't drink water, I drink coffee. And how much does the coffee cost a month? And like literally, we could spend 10 bottles of Mom's soda is about $16 now. It's
Yikes.
$1.58. What?
Yikes.
Yeah. But that's okay. So 10 bottles of Mom's soda. How long does 10 bottles usually last you? About a week and a half? About like a dollar. You
About 10
average about
days.
$1 a day?
About 10 days or
Yeah.
thereabouts, because it's about a bottle a day.
Yeah. She averages about a bottle a day. So in 10 days, that's 3 times a month she does. That's $45. My coffee is $30 for a month. And that's with Jim drinking it because it's 96 pods. It's actually more than a month. It's like a month and a half. If Jim has coffee every day, it's like a month and a half. If I am the only one drinking it, it lasts like 3 months. And my half and half is like uh, $3 and something cents every 2 weeks. And the syrups I get from Amazon, they last a long time too. So it's like nowhere near just in beverages. Just in beverages. Like
Hey.
just in beverages. And like the other things, like you don't realize that it balances out more, not in the end, but it just balances out because like, you know, um, what do we use electronics wise and what are they, even it's gonna sound dumb, even light bulbs. Mom doesn't like the LED or whatchamacallit light bulbs. She likes incandescent light bulbs, which of course costs more money to run, but I don't care. She hardly keeps that ceiling fan on anyway. But that's just those types of things that I don't think that people consider that it would be like economical, whatever. Like when I first met Mom, all the soda bottles went in the garbage. I was like, how come you don't recycle? She's like, this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, but think about it. You use less garbage bags if they're not full of empty soda bottles. And she's like, oh. So when we had the free recycling program, I got her on board with recycling and we're using less garbage bags. And it was kind of like funny, like, it's like how much less garbage bags we're using. But then they stopped that. So now it's become back to like another issue. So it's like little things that you don't realize. Just making homemade meals. Mom used to get certain foods from like QVC or like Parmesan chicken.
Yeah.
And
Steaks.
yeah, the steaks, they weren't cheap, you know what I'm saying? Like they weren't like $1 million like eating out in a restaurant, but much cheaper to make it homemade or whatever. So those types of things you don't even realize, they do help balance out the fact that she's got to pay more bills right now, or more of them, like she pays the mortgage and the phone bill, like as opposed to before it was like 50-50. So taking on more, we still in the long run have saved money for her for like this X, Y, and Z. I mean, in the end, it definitely favors her. Like, well, it favors her. She spent more money in the end or whatever. But there's so many things that you can't even calculate. You can't even put a price tag on. Just like being here, like the day she fell over and somebody was home, like she didn't really hurt herself, but we heard it and we knew. We had to make sure she didn't hurt herself too bad. Like, did you have a bump on your head?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
had to have a bit of a ring burn.
Yeah, and so sort of like that. That's those kinds of things that when we were in New York and we would get reports like when she passed out at a restaurant or whatever it was.
What?
I don't know. You had your low potassium and
I didn't
Shoney's
pass
or something?
out. It was I was like walking on eggshells.
Oh
and
yeah,
I was
so
working at
almost
the-
passed out. Then
Yeah.
is that I remember? Okay, so that's hard for us. We were 1,200 miles, 1,600 miles away, and we're like, what are we gonna do? Like she's she's by herself, and she wasn't working at the time, and she was already retired. So it's not like
No, I was working. I took a month off.
oh that time that with potassium. What
Yeah.
about with the gallbladder? That was you were retired then?
Yeah, I think I was already
Okay.
retired.
So I'm just putting all the stories together. Just when things would happen and we would be so far away, we're like, oh my God, like, what? This is not, whatever. We would worry. The fact that we're just here now, like even if we were in another part of town, just to be here now and say like, okay, we can get there if she needs us, or we can be there when it happens or whatever. Those types of things, I think you can't put a price tag on. And even her being here for me when I first got diagnosed, and she was helping like heat up my lunch midday when I didn't have any help that day. Those types of things, they're invaluable. Like your family, you care for each other. She's not my landlord, she's my mother-in-law, she's my husband's mother, and I love her like she's my own. And that's the way, it's just that's the thing people forget. They think I'm so abusive and I'm such a user that I'm taking advantage of everybody, but it's really quite like the opposite. It's really funny. Jim and I, one of the things we talked about last night was how I I have there's a preconceived notion that I try to control everything, and I'm like, if anything, right now you're controlling me to almost to the abusive effect, because there are things that I want to do that you will not take me to, and I physically cannot go by myself. I used to go by myself all the time, but I physically cannot go by myself right now, and you're holding them at bay, preventing me from having joy in doing those things because of whatever hangups you have. So like right now, I'm the one being controlled. We go out to a doctor's appointment. He's happy to take me to a doctor's appointment. Oh, can we go like sit at the park for a while? I gotta go home. Like that to me is like psychologically abusive, but he doesn't see it that way. He's just like wants to go home and play on the tablet or whatever he's doing. So it's just sort of like that's a matter of perception. So that's just a different perception. He has a perception like that I try to, I don't know, make the house look nice with decorations, and he thinks that's controlling, and then I think like him not taking me places that I need his help taking me, like that's controlling. um One of the things we talked about also last night was I was saying how about like it's my fault that I had a preconceived notion of how you care for somebody because of the way we were raised. Jim's an only child, and he didn't live by family very much, and his father got sick and then passed. Like his father was not sick at home where he had to take care of him. His father was sick in the hospital and then passed in the hospital. So Jim didn't know learn how to take care of anybody really. And I feel like with my family, we were taught like not only to just care for the person to make sure that they're not sitting in their own and filth or whatever, but to bring joy to their life. My dad, I used to bring him the crossword puzzle every day when he was in rehab, and him and I would just sit down and do all the puzzles out of the paper every day. And those types of things brought him joy. That I came every day. And during Lent, I bring him fish sandwiches and whatever it was. And that to me is what we learned. So not only is Jim not purposefully going forward and doing things that create joy in the rest of my life, but he's also preventing me from helping me do the things that bring myself joy to myself. Like, you know, I, uh, my love language is giving, but he doesn't want me to spend any money. Um, so how do I do that? So it's just sort of like all of these things, and I'm like, I am severely depressed. I went into the doctor's office and I failed the depression test, and she's trying to get me a different medication. And why am I this way? I'm this way because of my situation, and I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make him feel guilty. And that's not what this is about. It's just about how I'm feeling. I focus a lot on that, how he's feeling. I don't push him to the point where he's going to break, but I push him just enough, like when he forgets me. It's just sort of like that. The other day, he always asks me when we want to come out and eat. Do I want to come out and eat? Well, the other day he made steaks, and I said, "Do you want me to come out and cook? Like I'm feeling really good. Do you want me to come out and cook?" And he was like, "No, I think I got it. Whatever." And I was like, "You sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." That night he just didn't bring me dinner. Didn't ask me if I want to eat. Didn't ask me if I want to come out. I thought I was coming out, and it was taking a really long time to make this meal that should have been like really quick. So I yelled at him. I'm like, "Jim, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm eating." I'm like, "Oh." Me and the dog were locked in the bedroom. We were like, "Okay." He didn't ask if I wanted to come out and eat. And I was ready to come out and eat. I thought it was steak. I was gonna sit at the table and cut my steak and stuff. So it's just kind of stuff like that. Like, is it miscommunication? Maybe. Is it the fact that he thinks one way and I think another way? Most likely that's what it's like. Um, but it's just different. So like part of learning someone's love language is to show them the love that they expect to receive so that they can understand it. But it's also about having your own, I don't know, set of standards is kind of what it is. So yeah, and things have changed. What are you laughing about?
Well, you said that you were going to sign off like 20 minutes ago, so it's go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I asked
Oh
for
no,
I
I'm
asked
not.
for last minute questions 20 minutes ago. I wasn't going to sign off 20 minutes ago. But anyhow,
I'm
yeah.
just. I'm just
No, it's
laughing.
funny. It's funny, yeah. But I was just talking more about like what we've learned, like what we talk about, what we talked about to each other. We learn stuff, and you know, part of this is all comes from the comment about mom and me spending dad's money. That's what it's just evolved into this whole thing.
Like I keep on saying, yes, I would like to keep, I don't know exactly how to say this, keep the money, um, not to hoard it or whatever, but to make sure I have the money when I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But if it gets spent on something, for example, the trip last year to Colorado, which I would
Yeah.
normally wouldn't have. So I spent the money for you guys. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining.
Okay.
It's who else am I going to give the money to when I go?
Right.
So if you guys,
Right. Exactly.
when I, you know,
Yeah, I get it. And it's
or
about, to me, all like when we talked about when I came back from the cruise, and I was like, Mom, we got to go on a cruise. Like that was
yeah,
it. I first of all never expected you to have to pay for us to go on a cruise. That was just for you to go on a cruise, like we would pay for
yeah,
ourselves or whatever. But also, it's like the experiences and why,
yeah,
you can't take it with you when you go, for sure. I know you want to have us be a little bit protected when, or him be a little bit protected when you go, like not to, what are we going to donate your body to science because we can't afford to bury you or any of that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's also about, like, I would like to be able to have the joy in the rest of my life. Like, I don't know how long it is. Is it 12 years, 17? Is it 5 months? Is it like nobody knows, period.
mm,
But with this kind of cancer, nobody knows. Like, you know, is the cancer going to grow in the next 6 months? If it does, will the next treatment make better or worse? Like, I don't know. So it's sort of like you want to be able to enjoy the time you have left. But I told Jim last night, I was like, I just feel like I'm just waiting. Like I'm just existing here till the next day comes and the next live stream and the next doctor's appointment. That's not living. Like, how many more times can I play solitaire? How many more different varieties of solitaire can I play? And those types of things. And I do, because it keeps my mind busy and makes the day go by faster. But why do I want the day go by faster? People are like, go sit outside. I do. When it was the first warm day, I sat outside with the dog, played in the yard with her. It's not like if I can get down the stairs, fine. I can get down the steps, fine, and I will. Um, but sometimes that's really hard. Like, it's really hard. The 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 back door where I have to go out when I go out to the car, I have a very heavy duty chair there that I lean on to get down that step, because my my back wants me to not go down steps, if that makes any sense. Which should make sense, but especially with my right leg, because my right leg's a little shorter than the left one. I think that's one of the reasons the right side hurts a little bit more too. I don't know for sure though. We'll find out from my appointment in May.
Denise Williams said, "I'm glad you can eat steak. Your mouth must be getting better with the mouth sores. There must be going away. It's a good thing."
Well, they're still there. Avert your eyes if you don't want to see. My tongue is still this exact same. I can tolerate much more than I was able to before. Yes. Again, with textured, if I eat too much textured things, like I wanted a special cereal the other night, and I was like, I'm going to try it. And I soaked it, and it just tore the roof of my mouth open. It wasn't Captain Crunch, but it felt like it could have been Captain Crunch back in 1986 or whatever. But so it depends. But I can tolerate vinegars now, which is great. Some spice, not too much. The other day we had those steaks, and I actually had to give like the crust to the dog, because that part was hard to eat. So I sliced the piece open, I'd eat the middle out, and then I'd give the little crust to the dog. What? Like the edges of the steak that was seasoned and like charred, I couldn't eat those
Yeah.
because they were too hard and crispy, and not crispy, but like the texture cuts my mouth. So I always try to eat one. I usually end up cutting my mouth, ruin the rest of my food, but I eat it. I still eat it. But yeah, steak. Actually, steak hasn't really ever been a problem as long as it's cut enough, right? Because I usually put that in the back of my mouth and chew with the sides of my mouth. You're ignoring me, I think.
No, I mean this comment.
Oh, okay.
No, I understand.
This is what I get all the time. Something was funny the other day where I was like, I said something to Jim. I'm like, oh, the instructions. And I said, why don't you go and like go get the recipe, and then you can start making the marinade. And then when you do, we can just bake it in the oven. So he was going,
Make sure you're
oh, sorry. Then he goes like, okay, okay, all right. So you want me to get the recipe? Then what do I do? And I was like, I'll wait till you're done. I'll wait till your brain is ready to listen, because I'm sorry. And I was started laughing. He's like, what are you laughing about? I was like, I literally just gave you those instructions, but I'll wait until you're ready to like absorb. And he doesn't realize how distracting like his tablet can be, or his comments, or his phone, or whatever. So it was just it was laughable. And when I finally like got him to understand what I was laughing about, he thought it was funny too. He's like, "Okay, what'd you say?" So it's just really funny. But
Huh?
yeah, exactly. Um,
Pro cottage, and I can't. I must say I don't quite understand this. Said my grandfather always said, if you can pick up a fork, you can pick up a stick.
that's not true. But thank you for your grandpa's knowledge. Because a fork is while I'm sitting at the table. Basically, if you can eat, you can work. That's what he's saying. That's pretty much what
Oh,
he's saying.
okay.
That's not true. If you could pick up a fork, somebody puts the fork on the table's at your elbow height. To pick up a stick, it depends on where it is. If it's on the ground, no, I can't bend over and pick up a stick off the ground, especially if it's too heavy. But I appreciate what you're saying. So, anything else?
Uh, Lucy James thought that was a great saying.
No, it is. I mean, I get this feeling behind it, um, the sentiment behind it. But when you work with someone with disabilities all for 15, 20 years, you don't think that that's a good saying. Because I had individuals with cerebral palsy who studied for 20 years to learn how to pick up a fork. And what you're saying is basically a slap in their face because they can't go to work and they can't pick up a stick. Maybe they can in 20 years if we showed them how and they can get in and out of their wheelchair by themselves. I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with it. That's all. Um, anything else?
Well,
Go ahead.
I can't comment because what my brain. I can't really comment because what my brain thought about that is just like I know plenty of people in hospitals
Yeah.
Yeah.
that can pick up a fork, but they can't do nothing with a stick except for maybe poke you. And
It depends on how big the stick is, where the stick is located,
where it's gonna get located.
where it's going to get located.
Pro cottage said it's not necessarily a real stick, but to carry yourself to the kitchen, fold laundry, walk the dog, etc.
No, it's not the
You can
same.
now.
But Pearl Cottage, you know that that's not the same. And I don't know how old you are and if you have any physical ailments, but you know it's not the same. You can eat the food that people bring you and not be able to do anything else. So I appreciate what you're saying and I appreciate what you think you know, but you don't know what you're talking about right now. Okay. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding irate, but I'm just gonna be to the point where I'm not gonna take this shit anymore. I'm just saying. Um, you're not gonna come on here and be nicey nicey or whatever it is to me and then tear my ass up on another channel when my husband's doing his live stream. I'm just saying. Okay.
I'm not letting it happen.
Well, it's not even about that. It's like, you're saying things and you think you know. And first of all, I do fold laundry. Do I fold it every time? No, because I can't always sit up to fold laundry because I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not low stamina. I'm not low energy. I'm not this. I am in pain. Sometimes I have low energy because my thyroid's messed up because that last chemo treatment. And I'm anemic on and off and on and off. Every day is different. My blood sugar's up and down, but now it's getting fixed. But that's not for you to judge. Like, who lets whatever. Like, okay, I appreciate what you're saying. And you know what? Sometimes I just started eating with a fork a few months ago. I had to eat with a spoon for a long time. So what's the saying about the spoon? Just I just would like to point that out to you. Um, and then remember, if you can try to remember with any compassion in your heart that I was the person who did all of this stuff forever. It's only as of the last 2 or 3 years that I've had people do things like this for me. So that's what I really would actually it's almost 21 to 22 to 3 to 4. So yeah, 2.5 years. Um, if I could get your compassion to kick in a little bit, please realize that what you're saying isn't exactly accurate. Okay, because what you're saying is not. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Oh.
Any more?
No.
Mom does. Go ahead, Mom.
Jerry, stupid question.
No, it's okay.
Prepper is my name. Asked how you like your steak.
I actually like it medium rare. I like it to be all good and pink and bright pink in the. Yeah, I like almost raw. Not really, but I do. I like it medium rare. Um, Also, right now though, I would have to cut the crusties off the top. If it was charred really well, like it was the other day, it was seasoned and charred. I'd have to take it off. But I eat what I can.
Okay. Also asks, did you find your
I don't have oxy. I'm allergic to it.
oxytocins and Percocet?
I don't have them. I'm allergic to hydrocodone, so I can't have Percocet, and I don't find that Vicodin or oxycodone works for me. I had Tylenol with codeine, Tylenol number 3, and I don't know where it is. Jim doesn't know where it is either. I believe my personal belief is that he rage cleaned his nightstand one time and thought he didn't need it and threw it out because it went along with other things too. Other things were missing from his nightstand, and yeah. So I don't know for sure.
Uh,
Go ahead, Mom.
Beaver, I think they'd like to sit together, but there's
Yeah, I was
this
about to say,
four-legged thing.
see this in between us? That's what keeps us from sitting close together right now.
But honestly, we did that last week when we sat together. We still had trouble. Like we still have to pass the microphone back and forth because it's so um intense. Like I don't know if it's so sharp, whatever I'm trying to say. It's good. It's a good microphone. But we got these because mom, you guys couldn't hear mom, so keep that in mind. All right. Anybody else?
Hmm.
No.
Oh, Mona said prepper OxyContin is OxyContin is what pregnant women get to induce labor.
Oxytocin is what pregnant women get to induce labor.
Yeah,
Oxycodone.
It was oxytocin. Sorry.
Oh, oxycodone is what makes up Vicodin. It's oxycodone with Tylenol, right?
Hydrocodone.
Hydrocodone. So what's
Mhm.
oxycodone?
It's
I thought hydrocodone was Percocet.
my Vicodin said hydrocodone.
Oh, so I had it backwards. I'm sorry. So it's hydrocodone is Vicodin, and oxycodone is Percocet. I'm allergic to Vicodin. Yeah. Well, they never really worked for me. Tylenol 3 is the only thing that really ever worked for me. Um, which is Tylenol with codeine. But even that, all of those pain medications affect your digestive system negatively,
Yeah.
and I use them as needed. I usually take them before a doctor's appointment, and we haven't been able to find them. I've reordered them so since you know, but there was no question about me reordering them because I haven't had them in such a long time. So what, Jim? You just shook your head like
Some of these people's comments, I mean, I've put a lot of people in block, but
why don't you just ask them to me and let me just address
Lisa
them?
Pariso
yeah, Lisa.
said, would love to know how Jim has done it all these years. You're a saint, Jim. Sorry, Jerry, I do respect you, but you are very overbearing.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I mean, I don't, Jim. How have you been able to do it all these years?
Because I love my wife.
Am I overbearing?
Once in a blue
Yes,
moon, you
yeah.
can get a little overbearing, and
Okay.
I understand. I want to sit back and think about it. I understand why. And it's not really overbearing. It's just trying to get my butt in gear and get a move on, especially when it's an important issue or important thing that we're trying to get done. But other than that, I don't find my wife to be overbearing because honestly, if she was truly overbearing, um, yeah, I don't think it would last.
And I will be honest with you, Jim's not a saint. I appreciate your
No.
comment.
No.
But also the other thing is this has come up in our relationship a lot. When I met Jim, he pretended. I'm just not outing you. They know this.
No.
When I met Jim, he pretended to be somebody else. And when I found out who he was, that was fine. I understood. I understood why. It took a while to understand why, but I understood. But when in our conversations of why you pretended to be someone else, he said, that's who I want to be. I want to be that person. So for the last 20 years, or however long, 25 almost, I've been just trying to help him be that person. And there'll become times where he'll get to the point where he's almost that person, then resents me for it, and then goes, well, you're trying to change me. I'm not trying to change you. I'm trying to make you be the person that you said you wanted to be. You don't want to be that person anymore. Let's just change the whole setup, like let's whatever it is. And he's like, he last night he was like, "You don't accept me for all the things that I want." I was like, "What are you talking? When did I not accept you?" I said, "You wanted to wear wolf t-shirts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I bought you wolf t-shirts." What I would say to you, just like any other wife, is this is an occasion where a wolf t-shirt's appropriate. Maybe put on the polo I bought you. But instead, Jim decides to throw the polos out because then he figures if I don't have them, I just have to buy him a new one for the next occasion. You still can't wear a wolf t-shirt to this guy's funeral or whatever it is. So, like that's not me trying to change you. That's just trying me to show you, like, as a wife, like, not your jeans and your what is it that wives always your jeans and flannel is not appropriate for every occasion, type of thing. So I don't think I do anything more than that. But he gets it caught up and he thinks that that's what's happening, and it's not. It's just it's just what I'm trying to do, what you asked me to, and that's it. As far as the overbearing is concerned, there is so many times where I've had to be his mother, and I freaking hate it. I don't want to be your mother. I don't. No offense. It's not that I don't want to be Sally Henson. It's that I don't want to mother my husband. I want him to be a man and grow up and be like a man and take care of me and be my protector. Um, but it's not something that I like doing. It's just something like some guys need constant reminding of certain things and whatever. And I just, do I want to see my husband have a heart attack because I've got to take his cholesterol medicine for 3 weeks? That's not going to happen. And if that's mothering, I'll do it. I just feel like it's caring for my husband because that's what my parents were. I don't know. It's just weird.
Um,
Beautiful Disaster asks, have your doctors tried you on methadone? I don't know whose doctors.
Neither one of us are yes, so no. What's the methadone for? I was curious if she'll mention in the comments. What does she think we would be on methadone for?
Didn't say.
I'm saying I'm asking if she could say it.
Oh, okay. Prepper is my name asks how many times you've watched Harry Potter, as if it matters.
No, there's no limit to the numbers. I used to fall asleep to it. When the new movie would come out on cable, Jim and I would fall asleep to it at night. We'd basically put it on and, watch the first 30 minutes and then pass out, watch the first 20 minutes and then pass out. And now, the first Harry Potter, I could fall asleep before Harry even shows up on the scene, like with Hagrid. So, yeah, there's no limits. As many as numbers as there are days in the year, kind of thing. Because some days I've even watched it twice. Like,
Oh,
there's a whole group of movies that I fall asleep to. Go ahead, Mom. Sorry.
Prepper said methadone is a pain pill.
Oh, I only thought methadone was what they gave you when you were addicted to something. No, nobody's tried me on that. No. I mean, again, there is not really a pain pill that doesn't affect your digestive system because how they work is they relax your muscles and your nerves, and that's what you need for digestion. You need to have muscles that work in your digestive tract, and you need to have nerves that work in your digestive system, or else they'll slow down. So that's the reason that they affect your stomach. Um, but that's nothing so far. But I'll ask if they think it's worth it. My life would be exponentially less painful if I was on pain medication every day, but I also wouldn't have much of a hi. Can I talk to
Oreo.
people? Can I talk to
Oreo,
people?
come on.
Can I talk to the people? Are you ready for something? Ready for a treat or something?
on,
That's what
come
it is. Daddy, I need a treat. I haven't had a treat all day.
Oh, she has.
No, I meant one of the big like bony things.
Okay.
That's what I meant. Here. Because she's been chewing on this, and I think now that's not satisfying enough. Is there any on the table there, Jim? Or are they all in the
We're
drawer?
all in the pantry.
Okay. Hold on, baby. A few minutes, okay? We're almost done. We're gonna go a few minutes and you're gonna have a treat and go seeps, okay? Okay? I know, look at the sad tired eyes. Look at those tired eyes. But anyway, yeah, I mean, my life would be I would be able to do much more. However, what my spine surgeon says, be careful with the pain medication because then you can actually hurt yourself physically. Like you could physically crack that spine that's fractured by overdoing it because the pain medication doesn't make you feel the pain around it. So basically, he's like, listen to your body. That's really what it comes down to. So that's why I take those things when I know I need the extra strength or to not be in so much pain for so long. Like I went to the 2 doctors this week and it really took a lot of recovery because I went to them both without pain medication.
Mona is leaving.
Bye, Mona. Have a great day.
Bye.
And I didn't know.
Be creative. I forgot to ask her how her foot was, but I'll text her.
Darn it.
Oh, here it is. Nelly was saying, Mommy is your ass.
Yeah, so we're gonna say goodbye to everybody because Oreo needs her nap. I need to get something to eat because I haven't eaten anything yet. I'm glad Jim actually snuck some egg bites into the people first because I was like, nah, I'm not really hungry now, but now I'm like, ugh. But I'm glad he didn't starve everybody else just to wait for me because we've been here all day. All right, I love you guys. Listen, If nobody's told you that you're loved, you can always come by and hear how much I love you, because I love you very much. And what?
Ethel Reed just cut here, I guess.
Oh, hi, Ethel. I had a dream last night that you were coming to visit me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. And we were going on a cruise together. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you guys later. Have a good weekend or week. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Bye, Nellie.